Good morning, good morning. Man, hold on a second. That ain't right. Oh, I'll see what the problem is. Morning, morning. What is going on?
Morning, morning.
Morning, morning.
Top of the morning, yo.
Top of the morning there, matey.
Morning. Oh my.
Brenda, what is going on? Jude, we see ya. Hey, be one of those like talk show hosts. We see ya coming in. Some of those people voice trip me out. Like, yes, today on Descaled. Bruh.
Hey, what time y'all wake up?
4
I usually
a.m.
get up around 4. I usually get up around 4:30. Well, 4:30 Central Time. So I don't know.
Oh, dang. Wow.
I was up at 4 a.m. doing work.
Yeah, I got a lot to do before I.
That's what I'm saying.
I got a lot to do before I hit off the. Yeah, before the show, I got a lot to do, man.
I got a lot to do before the rest of the world wakes up.
God. Except before the rest of the world.
Bro, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
He sounds like he hasn't woken up yet. Did you
I got
your coffee?
Mike, what up, Mike Garcia?
Bro, I gotta come back on my other account, man. I gotta drop right back.
Hey, what do you think about this? Oh, not that one. Oh, well, that didn't work either. That's unfortunate. That's too big. Hold on.
What are you doing?
I'm working on it. There we go. What do you think about that?
Let me see.
I think it's nice, but it just lacks a little
I didn't
color.
I didn't see the guy. Hey, I didn't see the guy at first. I thought there was a shadow. I was like, bro, can you move the shadow out the way?
I have another one too. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, that's not bad.
This one's kind of cooler, I think.
Yeah, well, no, it is, but
yeah.
Open ojos, Dre. Open ojos. No, I think
like the first
if
one.
I would have known, if I would have known,
tweak it a little bit.
Yeah. Go ahead.
If I would have known that you were going to play with that, I would have showed you something to go off of. So the reason why Dre made Descaled like the way he made that is wow, man. So Jesus is the rose of Sharon, right? He's the life in the desert. So I'll try to see if I can find.
He just needs to take the berries. Just take the hollies off of it. That's all you need to do.
The berries.
Those little berries you got. Those little berries up there. The little.
The rose you're talking about?
No, that's
you're
not
talking about the rose.
Those are roses.
Oh,
okay.
Well, that reminds me of. What is that thing? The mistletoe. For some reason, I thought it was a mistletoe.
Okay, well, it's supposed to be. Okay, well, Jess, first off, we made it very clear that's not the one. That's not like the grand finale Descaled logo. That was so we had a logo. Okay. So
do something just like that. Just put the roses at the bottom.
Hold on, Jess. Hold on. Let me finish. That is supposed to be one rose. Okay. There is going to be a rose in the Descaled picture because Jesus is the rose of Sharon. Do you understand? It has nothing to do.
I would bring it to the bottom.
Listen, that in my mind, the Lord has a mistletoe over my head all day long. Can't help that.
You know what?
So you go around kissing people,
I like that. I like the way you turned that. You took the bad and you made it good. I like that.
I said the Lord has a mistletoe over my head all day long.
That's right. See, he's learning from the flip master.
There you go.
That's right.
Flippy Flip is teaching you.
So we're gonna take your negativity and we're gonna flip it upside down.
No, upside down, inside out.
Inside out. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely. Yeah, but I need to. Matter of fact, let me see if I can.
This thing?
Man,
Boy, dude.
I even took my allergy pill this morning. I'm feeling a little bit better,
write
though,
on
man.
the bottom? I would put like a rose, and I would write on the bottom the rose of.
No, we want you to have spiritual eyes.
Is this what it
Yeah,
is?
you need to be able to see. No,
well, that's true. That's true.
No, I'm gonna CJ. I'm gonna
Those
put.
are not
Or I'm
roses,
gonna try.
buddy. That's not a rose.
I'm gonna try to put a picture.
That's not the rose of Sharon for sure.
No,
I don't know what to tell you.
That's not a
Hey,
rose,
this
brother.
is what Google thinks the Rose of Sharon is, all right? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't even know what it looks like. That's why I looked it up.
Oh, it doesn't
My
matter.
mom
It could
actually
be
has a real
yellow.
one. It's pretty cool.
Let me see.
Maybe I don't. We're gonna have to do a research on that one.
My poor son, he has bad allergies. Little Levi. Oh man, he sounded like you yesterday, man.
Pretty bad.
He was upset, bro. He was
How's that? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, good. Oh, okay, I'll just make sure. Just make sure you can hear me.
Why are you pausing?
No, I'm actually.
That's crazy.
No, but I'm actually. Well, because I hit the little deal. Anyway. All right. CJ, can you see that?
Bro, what's up with the palm trees, man? This guy thinks he's in Florida.
Wisdom. Palm trees represent wisdom.
You don't know what palm trees mean in the Bible, Jess?
Are you making fun of it?
Lord have mercy.
Oh my.
Well,
Lord have mercy.
Because I know Dre loves Florida, so I was just thinking he was throwing a little bit of Florida in there.
No, that's trust
No.
logo, not mine. That's trust logo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, that is me and my brother. So I drew this with my hand. Obviously, it didn't look like that, but it wasn't far from it. But I drew it, and then my brother, my brother made it better. So
Dre, what do you see on that man? What do you see that stands out on the guy worshiping?
The triangle.
No.
The guy worshiping.
He looks like he had a booty job.
Yeah, BBL.
a booty job.
He is kind of thick in the picture, bro. I ain't gonna lie. He got hips.
Skinny legs. What the heck?
Oh, y'all see something? Y'all see something that I don't see because I can't see his butt.
Hey, Jesse's too funny, bro.
No, that ain't gonna work.
Hey, your boy booty so thick you can see it from the front, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Bro, I can't even see his butt.
I did last time. I'm gonna behave.
I can't even see his butt. I see his shoulder.
The little skinny legs with the.
What do y'all see, Dre? Screenshot. Do a screenshot and send it to me because I can't see his butt in my picture.
Mike Garcia said he's a Puerto Rican.
Yeah, he's Puerto Rican. I don't know what y'all are seeing.
He looks like a flamingo.
Oh my god. Jesse's too
flamingo.
much, bro. Jesse's too much, bro.
Oh,
Jessie be in her belly 23 hours and in the spirit 1 hour a day.
There you go. 1 hour. No, 2 hours with you guys.
she said 2 hours.
2 hours. 2 hours. Man, that's funny.
Misunderstood. I keep bringing you up, and you keep leaving, and keep bringing you up. You keep leaving us. What's going on?
TikTok is having
I did not do that. You kicked me out. I'm okay.
TikTok.
Absolutely.
It's TikTok.
Absolutely not. What would be the point of bringing you up and then kicking you out? Absolutely.
I don't know, Try.
Yeah.
Sister,
No.
there's a glitch. There's a glitch also with the mute button. TikTok is probably doing one of its updates, and it's going through.
Yeah, it's an update, I think, Jess. You're absolutely right, sis.
And every time it does an update, it
Jesse,
goes
look at my
through
picture.
What
Oh,
the
man.
He does have a caboose.
Oh,
He
you're
has a
talking about
caboose, man.
that
Little
guy.
red caboose. Little red
He thought you were
caboose.
talking about the other
Little
guy.
red caboose behind the train. The train.
Hey, misunderstood. That boy's so thick you can see his booty from the front, boy.
Oh, my
Okay.
Lord.
Go ahead.
Oh, my Lord.
Bro, he's wearing clothes.
Shake
Oh
that
my
booty.
But
Lord.
it's all
Shake
about
that
the
booty.
imagination, Trot. You know,
No, there's
clothes are
two
supposed to.
Hey, the
imaginations.
No, what
imagination
No,
of
happens
you have
is
men.
because you
Satan's
have them farther
imagination and you have
away,
God's imagination.
and
Oh,
in your picture, you have him farther away. So his booty sticks out and his legs look skinnier. So he looks like a
yes.
flamingo.
Oh my Lord. How in the world?
Hey,
Oh,
How
Trot,
is
Okay,
that?
I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna
you did
stop.
make your boy he got like a waist trainer on or something. Something going on
Bro,
there.
how is that
he
the
got a waist trainer.
focus? Oh
He's
my
got
Bro,
a
man,
Lord.
he
muffin
even
top,
has the
bro.
hips going. He
Because
even has
look
He
the
got
at
the
hips.
him.
muffin top, bro.
Dre, he's got the hips also.
Yes, he has it. You saw that too? I wasn't going to
Yeah,
go there.
Yeah.
Oh, I do.
that's what I'm
I'm in
talking
my
about the
belly
whole time. I'm like, hold on.
He's got
22
pants
hours a day.
on.
Men
He
have
got
hips
What kind
like
of
naked.
that.
pants, bro?
Y'all are
I never
goofballs.
realized
Those are
until
them
Jesse put it out
Swisher
there.
pants?
Jesse put it out there. She messed me up, man. So now I can't see dude the
Oh my
same way.
Lord.
I wasn't going to
Oh
say
my
Are
nothing.
those
Lord.
are those those
He's
Swisher
seeking
pants
wisdom,
from
all
the?
right. And if he falls down, he ain't gonna have a problem.
Oh
Hey,
my
Trot,
Lord.
those ain't no Wranglers, bro. He got on some jeggings.
Bro, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Those are called tree trunks. Y'all are
And
tripping.
Dre, if he falls, he ain't
The
gonna have a
muffled.
problem because he's got all the
That
cushion in
boy
the
works out.
world.
Got some thick
Oh
thighs.
my Lord, have mercy.
He made Buddy
Oh
thick,
my.
Good
boy.
Are
evening.
y'all
The Lord
done?
with you.
Are
He
y'all
was
done?
thick. He was thick in all the right places.
Whoa.
Bruh.
Oh my Lord.
So don't go there. Don't go there, Dre.
He said he
Bro,
We
got
in
stuff.
Bible
y'all are
study.
going there.
He got stuff in his
Let me ask you this.
pockets.
Hey,
Wallet, phone.
which one of you women, which one of you women are gonna just get out of the live? Jess, you gonna get out, you gonna behave or what? Hey, disciplina. Disciplina.
Oh my.
Bro, man,
Put
I
her on
muted. I
put her on
muted. I muted.
disciplina, bro.
I muted.
I'm muted. She's like, I'm
Oh.
muted, bro. I'm gonna say what I want to say, but I'm on mute. Oh Lord, have mercy. Yeah,
Oh
I'm
man,
on mute.
y'all are
Yeah,
wild, bro.
I'm gonna do y'all. You are in the y'all. You and Jess. What you mean y'all?
Jesse started it, bro.
Hey,
First
I
she
know
says
y'all.
Dre's my
first she
sidekick,
talks
and I'm
about
his
the
sidekick. I
first
say,
she talks about the roses being mistletoes.
Oh my Lord. Well, it's supposed to
Then
be
she makes
one
fun of the palm
rose.
trees.
listen, guys.
And
They
now she
look like
making fun of the guy's butt.
They look like three little berries, and I thought I always. And then the leaves. That is a mistletoe, bro. That's not a rose. You got that picture from the internet. It's a mistletoe.
I don't know where Dre got that from, but
That does not look like a mistletoe. A mistletoe does not have a white center with a stem.
Yeah, man, it looks like a mistletoe. But anyway, it's a
oh my
rose.
Lord.
It's a rose.
Jesse, you just want a mistletoe really bad. That's all.
Jude said it's a hibiscus.
That's funny.
Oh, let me see. Mm, let me see. Let me see. All right.
Hey. Who brings Bible today?
Who brings Bible today? All right. Oh man, what'd I do? Okay. Anyway, so the depiction in the is you see Adam's fall. That's why it's dark to the left, right? Eden revived, and then you have the reviving inside of the palm trees. Someone standing inside of the palm trees. Obviously, that being the last Adam. So, Jess, you go do 45 rosaries to repent of you making fun of Jesus's butt. And so
How
those are
many
the
Hail
two
Marys?
Adams right there.
How many
Yeah,
Hail
whatever you call
Marys?
them. You do all of them until you fall asleep.
Oh,
And then
I'll fall asleep in 2 minutes.
yeah, until you fall asleep. She said I'll fall asleep in 2 minutes. So you have the fall of man to the left, and the reviving to the right, which is Eden revived, because Eden is revived. And so that is the descaled picture. But to put all that into this little circle, not an easy task. So Dre went out of his way to put something together at least. So CJ, if you notice, like
Mm-hmm.
that's the template.
Okay.
So it's not about the thorns that Jesus wore on his head.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
This is
so
of the
that's the
life we have
template.
with him.
That's the template right there.
All right.
Living in the fullness
Yeah,
of his righteousness.
of
Yeah, I
Jesus'
personally
eyes.
just like the thorns. It just it reminds me of him taking the dry, desolate ground, the thorns upon himself.
Well, it symbolizes that we're still dry and desolate. This photo symbolizes Eden has been revived, which is two completely
True.
thought
No, you don't
processes.
understand. Dre is Assemblies of God. You don't let
But
go
at
of those
first,
thorns in life. It doesn't matter what comes up. You don't let go of those thorns.
Yeah.
but at first glance, honestly, it looked okay. So at first glance, it looked like it's Rocky up there on
Yeah,
the
but you're,
steps.
what at first glance at what?
At the picture, it looks
Which
like,
one? Which picture? Which picture?
the other picture, the one that you just showed, that you were just
Yeah, but
referencing.
you're not getting a good view at it. This is not showing you, like, you cannot really clearly see that picture in this box, just so you know. Like,
Understood.
Yeah. Because it's
Let the lady say what she saw, man. Go ahead, misunderstood. Finish your first
well, I'm just
thoughts.
saying. Last time Jess started talking about Jesus' butt, so I was
No,
like, oh
Well,
Lord.
misunderstood needs to remove the. You need to change your name because Trotty's having a problem.
Go ahead, misunderstood.
Thank you. No, as I was saying, it looks like Rocky, on the steps after he finally completed and he was running up the steps and he put his arms up as in for his depiction of completing and doing what he needed to do. When he raised both his arms up on the steps in Philadelphia, that's what that a man
You're talking
looked
about
like.
Rocky
Yes, I
Balboa. You're
said
talking about
yes.
that.
Rocky Balboa. I said Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
He understood you as the front of the picture. On the front, it looks Rocky, like Rocky Stone.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought you were saying. And I'm like, man, there ain't no way. You need to see the picture better.
That's how I understood it also.
That's why
That's what I
you should
understood.
let folks speak so you understand what they're trying to say.
No, that's why her name is misunderstood. She's usually
No.
misunderstood.
You know what?
Yes, it is. That's why I told you. That's why her
Actually,
name
my
is
name
misunderstood.
means no. As I understood the assignment, I understood. I understood. I understood what needed to be done, and I take care of business.
Folks can't read misunderstood the
Oh,
assignment.
you know what
That's
it
the
is? There's
problem.
only one S. That's why I'm looking at. Okay, there's only one S. That's why.
Well, TikTok won't let you put everything in, so.
Yeah. TikTok definitely don't let you.
They misunderstood the assignment. Misunderstood the assignment.
Thank you. Thank you, Dre.
Jerry White prescribed the recliner chair. Why did I develop this? Okay.
Well, anyway.
Anywho.
Hoo-ha.
I don't know. CJ, you got something in the New Testament or what, buddy?
Yeah. All right, so I have a few. Just let me know. I'm going to name them all. Just say yes or no if we've been through them.
No. Yes. No. Yes.
No, we have not. We have not. Next.
The lamp on the stand, Matthew 5:14-15, or Mark 4:21. Anybody remember? No.
So you're gonna say Mark 4:21 and not give context, bro?
He said the lampstand, bro.
I
He said
said
the
the lampstand. I also.
No. What's funny
the
is he
context
didn't
of
even
the
say.
Bible.
Hold on, you didn't even say lampstand. He said lamp on the stand.
Lamp on the stand, yeah. Yeah.
You know the lamp that's on the stand.
You know.
You know that lamp.
Well, Trot and Jesse on one today, ain't they? Good Lord.
Yeah. It's all right.
I'm on
We all
every
have
day,
our
man. Y'all
days.
need to catch up. Y'all need to catch up, man.
Oh.
We did all of them, CJ. The whole New Testament already.
Oh, okay then.
Oh,
I'm just messing
well, I
with
guess
you,
there's
man.
nothing to talk about.
No,
Jay,
I
I
guess
walked
so. Have a
away,
good
and that's
day.
why I didn't say anything. You know why he said the lamp on the stand? Because he was trying to fool you. Because what he's really talking about is the two candlesticks in Revelation, and he's just trying to get
Oh
around it.
my Lord, Jess, boy, she gets that in every chance.
Hey,
Oh
if we've been through the
man.
whole New Testament, then that's the only thing left.
Oh,
New
listen.
Testament watch. New Testament.
Hey, Trot. I ain't gonna lie though. I ain't gonna lie. I have asked a couple people that talk about them seals, and I'll read it to them like, man, can you guys? What does that mean? How you open the scroll and there's 7 seals on one scroll?
He
Yeah.
already
Then
opened them.
Bro,
they
They've
say I'm
already been
crazy.
opened. They were open in the foundation of the. You know how that verse says that everything was created for him in the foundation of the earth. Those seals were already open back then, brother.
All right, teach us. Let's go. Yalla.
Yalla. Those seals were open back then, brother. A lot of people don't like to hear the word
whether
predestination because it's in the scriptures. And I know it's kind of like eerie. People are like, oh no, I'm not like the Muslims. Predestination. No, God forbid. It's like the vampires coming after you. But there is a beautiful meaning to that word if you really do understand what it's all about and the choices and free will. So, it is what it is.
y'all,
Golly.
by the time Trot gets to talking about Revelation, Jesse will be on her deathbed. God, easy.
Hey, nah, it'll
Wow.
already have
Jeez.
happened.
Ryan the
It'll
same.
already be happening. Like it is.
You know
What
what?
does it say?
I have a question.
I understand what
And
he meant
then
by that. He just meant it's never going to happen. Brother, it'll happen in due time. Let the spirit move upon the waters and upon his soul and his spirit and that flesh. And he should.
Hey,
She gave you a Christianese answer right there, boy.
yes, she did. And she went on
Brett
mute.
said, what was that about the seals? Nothing, Brett. That was Jesse, and you can DM her, and you two can talk about the seals all day long.
All day, baby.
I have a question.
What's up?
The question is okay. This is all the married men who have children. This is a
Uh-oh.
question. Oh yes, yes. Okay. CJ, actually, it's going to be for Dre because your baby is young.
Yes.
Dre,
Okay.
um, the new hot topic that's going around. When you've seen that video, if you haven't, I'll send it to you. Um, who should be fed first, the husband or the children?
Oh, Lord have mercy. I've heard that question. Okay, the husband or the
What's the
Oh,
children.
question?
man.
It's
What's
like,
the question?
Hold on, Jess. I want him to answer.
What's the question,
Who
though?
should be fed first? Oh, who should be fed first, the husband or the children?
Oh, my Lord. How is that a
both.
question?
Both.
Oh, my Lord.
Shh,
Both.
hold
You
on.
feed them both. Misunderstood. You feed
Hold
them
on.
both.
Wait, Jess, sister in Christ.
Um, for me personally, like this is I don't know if this is the right answer or the wrong answer, but me personally, I prefer for my kids to be fed first, and I'll take Um, especially if it's enough food for everybody. It's not like anybody's going to starve or not have food. So I don't mind my kids being fed first, oh, at least the little ones. Not Junior. Junior can wait. He's 20 years old. But like the little guys, yeah, I definitely would feed my girls and my little guy first, and then feed myself. But I don't know if that's like a military thing that you kind of get taught, like you wait for everybody to eat. If you're a leader, you wait for your guys to eat, and then you eat. Um, I don't see it as like a disrespect from my wife to feed my children first. She's not literally putting them first. What she's doing is she's providing nourishment for them first, which I think is okay. That's my final answer.
Okay. I
How
like
are
your.
you asking that question? Are you asking in the time frame, or are you asking in the amount of food that is there and who should receive the meal because there isn't enough? Or is it just a time frame where my husband eats before my kids and then I feed my kids? How are you asking this question?
I'm asking it in both parts. The way you just stated it, and then the way that we were raised. That your husband eats first before your children. But if your husband is at work
No, when
and
I
dinner
wasn't
is
raised like
ready,
that, I misunderstood. I wasn't raised like that. We all ate together. And if by
okay,
chance my father worked late, then of course the children ate first because he
absolutely.
wasn't there to sit down and eat with us. But we always ate together. Now, in the case of if there wasn't enough food, everybody was, like Dre said, there's going to always be enough because God is always going to provide. But let's just say that the portions are not as big. Um, you know, we I would, as a mother, I would just portion them out to the needs of that child's size and the size of my husband, because if he's the one working, then I can't starve them to death, but I can't starve him to death. So I would just pray, portion it out, and know that the Lord is going to bless and nourish us. Because now I'm walking on faith, sister. Now I'm walking on faith. I have another choice. It is what it
Understood.
is.
Understood. The way I was raised, your husband eats first. If he's not at home, then you make his plate first. You put it in the microwave warmer oven, and then you feed your children. The only one who superseded your husband were babies, and that's why I left CJ out of it, because his baby is a baby.
Yeah, and my wife does that, by the way. Like if I'm out, if I'm working or if I'm doing something, I know I'm gonna always have food in the microwave. Like she's always gonna, you know, save or, portion out my portion, obviously, while the kids are there. But like if we like if we're all sitting down together or whatever, my wife usually will serve me first anyway. Well, she'll serve the little guy and then she'll serve me. But I don't know. I guess to me it's like that question turned into like, do you put your children first before your husband?
And that's what the
Emotionally,
question is,
that's
brother.
the problem. Now that's a
Yes,
problem. That
you
yeah.
read that right. You read that right.
That's a
Why I
problem.
asked the question, because people are looking at it in a different way, and that is the new
Yeah, some
topic
guys
that's
take that
going
as like a
around.
yeah,
But
some
yeah,
guys take that as like a disrespect, like their wife is disrespecting them or something like that. I don't see it that way. It's not that deep to me. But then again, I don't know. Like now emotionally, if your wife puts your children and the children before their husband, then that's a problem. Obviously, that's going to be a problem. But I don't know that food is necessarily an indicator of that. I don't know. What do you think, Trot?
Oh, heck no. Y'all don't want to hear what I got to say. Everybody going to leave that room.
no,
Well,
no,
go
no,
ahead.
please,
We're ready to
Let him
leave.
Trot,
say it, Trop, because
Trot.
I
I
have a
Oh,
bring
lot
these
that I want
no.
to
questions
say.
before
Say
I
it.
bring these questions before
Say it,
Bible
brother.
study. I honestly do, and you know I do. So
Say it,
please give me
brother.
your full answer.
Please say it, brother. Just spit it
No,
out.
because it's not
Come
a
on.
it's not a quick answer. It's not a quick
Mm.
answer. What I'm saying is
Oh
it's not a
yeah,
quick
nah,
answer.
leave him alone. Don't
Oh
plow with his
man.
heifer then, because ain't nobody trying to hear about no food for three
Okay.
hours.
Okay, we'll talk about this tomorrow. Move on.
Well, DM me, Trot. Just give me an answer in a DM.
Oh Lord.
You tell him
The
you
answer is
can't
so
condense this
simple.
answer into 3 minutes.
I can do whatever I want.
Oh, excuse me,
So
My bad.
Mister
obviously, ob-
Misunderstood.
obviously, obviously, I can make it small, but it would be no benefit to you if I did. That's the point.
Of it was
Again,
your husband.
again,
Oh,
again, 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 everything has to be looked at as math, whether you like it or not. If you just want the answer, then you don't want to learn nothing. I don't know how many times I got to go over this over and over, same thing. You want to go to your teacher and say, hey, did I get this right? No, that's not the answer. This is the answer. The heck with how the answer got there. Here's the answer so I can pass the test. So a lot of people in their house, they just want to pass the test. They just want to pass the test. Do I feed this one first? Do I feed that one first? It's not about that. So it's not a 5-second answer is my
right,
point.
right, and I understand that. The way I looked at it was the fact that your children will leave, and it will just be you and your husband, because children leave. And so, whatever answer that you provide, it's going to be your opinion in a sense. But once I know you go to the Word about it, then that's what we all need to stand on.
Well,
Because
that's the
everybody
only
else has
place
an opinion.
that's the only
I
place I'm
know.
talking from is from the Word. Like, I'm not giving
Exactly.
my opinion on what a man should do or a woman should do. I'm going to use the Word to talk
Exactly.
about
And
it.
that's why I ask you these questions.
So
Huh.
all right. So, there's not a whole lot of people that care about marriage like they used to. Number one, it's just not. Like, most people do it because it's kind of like being a Christian or a Buddhist or an atheist or a Democrat or a Republican only because your parents are. And when a person does that, they don't have any foundation of that belief in on their own. That's why a lot of people leave Christianity, because they're just calling themselves Christian because their parents are Christian. People get married. Well, my parents were married. But if you don't understand why those things occur, then you're just kind of just doing it because you're doing it out of ignorance yourself. Your parents may not have done it out of ignorance, but you yourself could be doing things out of ignorance. So when it comes to who gets fed first in the house and these kind of questions, if the man and woman are married because they truly love each other and they're married on biblical truth, then all you have to do is watch them, and you'll see who they feed first and why they feed. You'll see it. But what's happening is people don't have the proper heart, so they just want the answer so it could look like they're playing house correctly. And if that's the case, you shouldn't be playing house, because house isn't a game. It's not about who gets fed first. It's when the kid is eating already, if the kid is eating, the kid needs to see the woman care enough to make the man a plate. Not that she has to. The kid needs to see that so he can ask, hey, Mom, how come you always make Dad a plate? And she could say, well, what do you mean? He's been working. I want to make him. So we're talking about the woman that wants to do it, not the woman that has to do it. And then the other side is a man should not be expecting his plate to be made. He shouldn't be expecting it, because he's in the marriage for the right reason, which is to be the leader of the house. And the only way to properly be a leader of the house is for Christ to be your leader. And Christ said that he didn't come to be served. He came to serve. And he says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave his life. So the man is supposed to give his life for the wife. And that's not talking about unaliving himself. It's talking about his life is for the wife. Who's building a house? Let me see. I know who it is. So the husband is supposed to give his life for the wife. So when he comes home, he's not expecting a plate. That is self-centeredness. And we talked about it a little bit yesterday, that if you have grief in your life, the root was self-centered, meaning the whole reason that you have grief, we're talking about stuff that you did yourself. I'm not talking about being mistreated. Everybody gets mistreated. Nobody's alone in that. I'm saying most people that have grief that I'm talking about that they've earned, that they've done themselves, is because of being self-centered. You're focused on you. Everything's about you. And so if people get married and both individuals are self-centered, that's just a catastrophic event waiting to happen. So yeah, I understand the question may seem small, who eats first, but the biblical truth of not being self-centered, having a sure foundation here, is what leads to those answers being proper. So carnally, we can all have an opinion, but the motive is where the truth comes from. What's the motive? Why is the woman making the man the plate first? Is it because she's playing a culture game? So now life is based on culture, or is it based on biblical principles? Should the man be expecting his plate to be made? Because if he's expecting it, then he's a self-centered fool, period. The end, period. You're expecting something. So you're Mr. Entitled. I'm entitled to it. You become a fool 100%. And you need to grow up and take your thumb out of your mouth. Now, my wife has a full-time job. Every once in a while, like if we go to a party, excuse me, if we're invited to a party, 75% of the time, she'll go grab food and bring me some. But I'm not telling her, babe, go get me a plate. Now, if the kitchen's full and it's all the women, then something like that, then I'll say, hey, babe, go get me a plate. There's a bunch of women in there. I just don't want to be bumping elbows with all the women in there. I just think it's weird to me, personally. That's just me. But I'm not telling her she better go get me a plate. But dinner table stuff, like stuff at home, if it doesn't matter who the person is, it's not about who eats first or who eats, but a man that has a heart for his family, again, he's not in his belly, right? He's not in his belly. He's not self-centered. He doesn't come home and like, everybody get out of the way. The rhino's here. I'm going to eat. The tyrannical government just entered the house. He's making sure his family's eating. He doesn't care who's eating first. Only self-centered people care who's eating first. For that to even be a topic for some people, right? Not everybody, but for some people, it's because it might be a man that's realizing it might be wrong. And, the person's, hey, so am I supposed to eat? Again, that's how you know the root of who this person is, the root of them. They're working on the root, working on it. That's why the questions are being asked. But for someone who understands this already, they don't ask those questions. They don't ask who eats first, who eats second. They don't ask. So culture, I'm telling you, I say this all the time, culture holds us back from the truth. And people love their culture so much that they won't let the Bible get in the way. They could care less what the Bible says because culture comes first. No, God comes first. It's God that comes first. Your culture is last. It ain't first. Family, your family, regardless of culture, family comes afterwards. Then it's your job. And then fishing, hunting, then culture. You don't put culture above anything because they'll start taking the place over the Bible. And then again, you become a fool again. So when we became saved, we entered a different culture. And the culture is love. It's not self-centered. Everything's not about me, me, me. It's about everybody else now, everybody around me. So who's supposed to eat first and who's supposed to eat last? Well, I can promise you this. Whenever food arrived, Jesus didn't put himself in the front of the line. So if you catch yourself putting yourself at the front of the line, and you position yourself in the wrong place, because a true leader is at the end of the line, not at the front of the line, and that's a biblical truth. even though the military does teach that, that principle comes from the Bible, and the military took a hold of that. And there's a lot of things that the U.S. military does, they took from the Bible. So, the Bible, there's always been people that understood and respected truths that are in the Bible, and it's always passed around. But so that being said,
Yep, and I would say that is 100% accurate. And that's what I was saying. Like, it's not, I don't know. I don't know how a dad could just like, I don't know. I don't feel right
Well, it
personally.
wasn't about the dad so much, Dre. It wasn't about the dad. The argument is because there's a video going around, and the father came home, like Trot said, being all aggressive and everything, and he was complaining that the son was eating first, or his plate was not made, and then he took the son's plate and threw it in the garbage.
Oh, nah, bro. That's crazy, bro. That's
See,
crazy.
I wasn't going to say that part because I wanted to get the gist of the true meaning, because people see things differently. Now, of course, once you know the whole context of the video, then of course we all know that he was wrong. Okay,
Well,
that's just a given.
sister,
well,
is he desolate, or is he full of the
No,
righteousness of
sis,
Christ?
no. Once I get the video sent to me, we're following each other. I'll send it to you.
No,
let
no.
me
My
let me say,
question is this gentleman a follower of? Is he a follower of Jesus Christ? Is he saved,
Well,
or
Does
he's
it
just
sound like
walking in
it?
his flesh?
It doesn't sound like it says no. I was before I came to Trot's Live. One of the big top content creators on this app, she's having a live about it right now. And before Trot's Live started, I was in that live, and you had men and women talking about this same subject. And
No, the
so
problem. I
this is,
mean,
and
what
so
it
for
boils down
me,
to. This boils
go
down
ahead.
to if you're walking in the spirit or you're walking desolate. It's for a man of God or a woman of God that's walking in the spirit. Trot explained it perfectly. There, I mean, it's not. It's like
Jesse,
he said.
hold on,
This
Jesse.
is.
Hold on, Jesse. I don't think that even has anything to do with being a man of God. Just being a
Thank
man in
you.
general, bro.
Yes.
Just being a
But
man in
see,
general. There's a lot of
and I'll say that. Let me say this real quick. First of
Thank
all,
you.
all the comments that I made had nothing to do with the video that y'all are talking about. I want to make that very clear. I am not discussing any video. I'm just talking about biblical principles. I don't even know the context of that video. For all we know, how old is this said kid or person or child whose plate thrown in the trash?
I believe it was a teenager.
Okay,
Teenager
so there we go.
or
Let's
adolescent.
just say,
Mhm.
let's just say it is a teenager. Let's say the kid's the boy is 13 or 14. I don't have to have kids. This whole idea, if you don't have kids, you don't know how to talk. That's a lie, and you know it. Everybody used to be 14. Get off the gas. Okay, it's not hard. Okay, everybody knows that a majority of teenagers, not all, are little brats. So this little kid, I'm not talking about the video. I'm saying kids in general, okay? This has nothing to do with this video. But I at least wanted that so I could at least show the other side of kids, okay? You have no idea. And again, it's not just this video, but kids are brats. And I know some that will purposely show a type of disrespect on purpose that they know will get under their dad's skin. So I'm not saying anything about this particular video, but kids will. If they know what your pet peeve is, they'll do it on purpose. So let's just say that this gentleman's pet peeve is, I'm going to eat first. And let's say he's saying it because his kid's lazy. Let's say he's been telling his kid this for months. When I come home, you better not eat till I eat. And maybe it's because he don't do chores. He don't want to get a job. He doesn't want to do nothing but play video games all day. So what the guy is doing is showing dominance. And the only way maybe that he knows how is, let me tell you what, if I'm going to go bust my butt and pay all these bills and you're not going to do nothing, play video games, you don't eat till I get here. And he's like, oh, yeah? So he made sure he was eating when his dad got home. I'm telling you, see. So videos, no videos, all you're seeing is people eating, dad coming home, tyrannical, throwing his body. I don't know the full story. This is the one thing I always say, jumping to conclusions itself is foolish. We don't know the whole story. Now, of course, the other side could be that the dad is just a straight tyrant. That could be. But you know what's funny? What I'm learning about videos these days, there are people that will show you only what they want you to see so they can tug on your emotions. And harnessing your emotions is a serious deal. And if you don't know how to harness your own emotions, you're not going to be able to help anybody else harness theirs. So until the full thing is played out, then all you understand is what you see. So
that's
what
why
the full story is.
The way I did, Trot. That's why I posed the question the way I did.
Well,
because
no. I'm
I
not
did not
talking
see.
about. No, I know.
No, I understand what you're saying. No. I
I'm not
understand
talking
what you're
about the
saying,
video.
brother.
I'm not talking
I know
about the
you're
video.
not.
I'm not
I
talking
understand,
about
but
the
that's
video.
why I just asked the question.
What a Trot is saying, there's always two sides to the coin. There's
Every
always
I
time.
people.
understand
Every
that,
time.
There's
sister.
always two sides
Okay,
to
but
the
we're
coin.
no longer talking about that video. Okay, the
Exactly.
conversation of that video is over. Okay, I don't want to talk about this video anymore. Look, when it comes to videos, let me just say this: you do not know the full story. So, we can go in circle for a few minutes about something like this, but it's not going to just take over the live where we're sitting here talking about something that we don't even know what's really going on. So, no, trust me, there ain't nothing wrong with the question. I just don't think it needs to be talked about the entire live. So, but when it comes to biblical truth and biblical understanding, again, we're not talking about that video. But when it's about who's supposed to eat first and who's supposed to eat second, a man that is really just trying to take care of his family, he wants his kids to eat first. That is 100% true. But when it comes to disciplined kids, you got to be careful on where you stand about discipline. So not everybody agrees on how each other discipline their kids. You can watch 20 households and it'll be funny. All 20 of them will disagree with each other on how they handle their business in the house. How funny is that? All 20 will disagree. Like, every once in a while you'll find a few households that kind of handle the business the same way. But for the most part, a lot of people disagree on how they do it. So here we go. There's 4 quarters, in a football game. But to people who don't play, there's always a 5th quarter and a 6th quarter. Before you know it, 20 quarters. The game been gone. The game been over for 3-4 days. And people are still talking about it and what should have happened, what shoulda, woulda, coulda, and how. And, people go to war and people become unalived. And it was because this man made the wrong call and it's his fault and he should have done this. It's the same thing with households. Everybody trying to figure out what happened, what went wrong. I get it. No big deal. I don't think anything's wrong with the questions, though. There's nothing wrong asking. But I just think that as long as we maintain the foundation that we don't know the whole story, stay true about what we do know. All we know is what we see or what we're told. And but not knowing the whole story is not, it's not truthful to not know the whole story. So I think videos can be harmful as well because you don't know. You just kind of know what you see. And we talked about it before, especially when it comes to police and civilians, both ways. You'll see a civilian beating up a cop and you're like, oh, he needs to go to jail. And then you'll watch the whole video and you're like, well, you know what? Yep, I was right. He needs to go to jail. But then the next time it happens, you see a civilian beating up a cop. Oh, he needs to go to jail. He's like, let me see the full video. And you're like, I'm not so sure if he should go to jail. Because, this time it was the cop doing some shenanigans, And so it's not good to jump on bandwagons without understanding the full video. We talked about this with COVID-19. We're talking about it yesterday. COVID-19 happens. And I mean, I'm telling you that COVID-19 wasn't even out a week. 1 week. It wasn't even out 1 week. And people literally are choosing sides. You have the conspiracy theories. They're already starting. And then you have the other side. This is the safest vaccine in the world. Really, the safest. This has been going on 1 week, and you're choosing that this is the safest. Really? Come on. This is what I'm talking about. It's easy to discuss it in the aftermath, But for some reason, it's hard for people to slow down when it's happening. You know, jump into conclusions. You become a fool when you do that. You just slow down, you know, and let's think this out. But people want you to rush to a decision, because if you think hard enough, you're gonna figure it out. So, but it's in anything. But I think CJ had with the V word. Yeah, Mike, you're right. Probably shouldn't be saying.
I was wondering, every time you said it, the screen flashed on my side at least. So I don't know. I don't know what that means.
What about when I say victory? Did it flash then?
No.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyhow, but like I said, I don't think anything's wrong with questions. I just think that we just need to be mindful that there are two sides to the story, and we don't know the whole story. You just, you know, and again, that's with the jab story, policing, civilians, rioters, whatever. You know, they got that Dre, what was the name of that kid? Rittenhouse? What was the name of that kid that was running down the street with the AR-15?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, Rittenhouse. Like, bro, like everybody's like
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah, bro. When that first story, but I know better. When that story first came out, the way the news, what I saw, that this guy was like an active shooter, bro, just running around murdering people. That's what based on what I saw, if I wasn't careful, that's what I would have believed. That's what was presented to me. But because I know better, I'm like, we'll see. And what happened? It goes to court, and you clearly see what the issue is. Now, if you clearly can't see what the issue is, then I can't help you. But oh man, it's the whole thing's sad. First off, but you know, when that story first came out, boy, it was an active shooter running down the street, just unaliving everybody. That's exactly what I saw. And you know what? People hopped on that bandwagon. Look what he did. And I'm like, here we go again. Let's see. Now, sometimes it is true. They're like, hey, look what this person did. Well, until I get the full story, I'm still not choosing a side. And then you wait for the full story, and you're like, oh, well, that's what he did. But the conclusion should only be believed when you got as much of the story as you can, not before. You don't make a conclusion on something, you know. But CJ, did you throw out some of those parables in the New Testament?
I threw one out.
Let me just say this real quick.
I have another one there.
Before you keep going.
What?
Go ahead.
Hey, Benny, I'm gonna be in your neck of the woods, August, bro. August 12th, I'll be down there, so hopefully we can link up.
Are you gonna take your car boat, or are you gonna fly?
Yeah, I'll see. It's a Saturday, right? It's gonna be on the weekend, right?
Yeah, I'll be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'll drive back on Monday. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I should be available, man. So you headed to Leo's parts, ain't you?
Well, I'm going to ORU to drop off my daughter at Oral Roberts University, and then I'm gonna obviously link up with Leo at the Black Rodeo, and I was hoping I could catch up with you one time, and I was even thinking probably driving down to Trot, since he's about 2.5 hours away or something like that.
He's taking the car boat.
Yeah, you guys hear something? It sounded like static or something, like a bug. I'm not really sure, but anyway,
where is the Black Rodeo?
We'll link up, man.
Where they gonna have the Black Rodeo at? Is it in Boley or something like that?
I think it's in Leo's neck of the wood. I'll try to call you. I'll text you and look together, and then I'll try to figure it out.
Okay, cool. Because I could probably just make an event out of it and just go to the rodeo with y'all.
Yeah, if you go to the rodeo, Benny, you better be wearing your boots, bro. Don't be showing up with no Jordans.
I had some work boots on.
I love me some rodeo. Rodeos are fun.
Yeah.
In Puerto Rico, rodeos are done with donkeys.
I won't know because I wasn't born and raised in Puerto Rico. So maybe in Venezuela they use the donkeys.
Nah, we actually are the kings of.
Kings of what? Kings of what?
I don't know. That was a lot of static.
Dre, what'd you say? Kings of what?
Oh, we can't hear him. He actually did go.
Oh, he must be. I think he's driving.
Oh, okay. So what are we doing? Come on, people. Let's get to this.
All right. Well, CJ had a few. CJ, how about this? How many did you write down to discuss? Like, how many? Give me a number. 1, 2, 3.
I have 4, but that was just in case.
Okay, let's start. Hold on. All right, let's start. I know. Let's start with the first one. What do you have for the first one?
The cost of discipleship. Luke 14:28-33, where he's talking about.
Now.
Yep.
What? Go ahead. What is talking about? What? I'm listening.
Where he's talking about if anyone comes to me and does not know his own mother and father.
Okay. And don't give it titles. Just give me the verse and give me context. I'm going to tie over here making sermons over here inside. Hey, this is how you know somebody's in ministry. They're already titling stuff. Huh? What?
I said that's just the title it gave me. Discipleship tested.
Okay, so what's the second one?
Let's see. The second one.
I need to write these down while you're going over them, because we'll go over one of them for sure. All right, let me see. Give me a second. Close. Alrighty. All right, so the first one you had. Give me the address.
Luke 14. It's verses 25-35. I'd say the focus is probably 28 and 29.
All right.
And then.
All right, what you got? What's next?
Luke 19:21-27. That is the. Which one is that? That is the money usage parable.
Money usage.
That's a nobleman's 10 pounds is what it is. A nobleman's 10 pounds.
A nobleman. Money usage.
All right.
Wow.
You can call it whatever you want. I don't care.
All right. So that's 2. All right. What's number 3?
The third one I had, I thought he said, so the lamp on the stand was one of them, but I thought he said we already went through.
What's the give it to me anyway. What's the address?
That's Matthew 5:14-15.
Matthew 5:14 what?
To 15.
Okay.
It's probably a little bit more than that, but
yeah,
that's what it's giving me.
All right. You know,
what's
a good one is
what's the fourth?
Go ahead. What are you going to say, Jesse?
I was going to say Luke 20:27 to.
All right, hold on a second. Hold on. I want CJ to finish his. CJ, what's the fourth one you got there?
Well, we already.
Or you don't have 4.
Soils.
So you don't have 4. You have 3.
Got 3.
All right, you got 3. All right, Jess, what you got?
We can do paying tribute to Caesar, children of the resurrection.
Address, Jess. Address.
That's paying tribute to Caesar is 20, and it's Luke 20, verse 20 to 26, and then the children of the resurrection is Luke 20, 27 through 47.
I have one. Can we discuss Hebrews?
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Jess, I'm not really sure why you just threw all that out there. What was the second one you said, Jess?
Children of the resurrection. That's Luke 20, verse 27 through 47. Oh, I'm sorry, through 40.
Oh, my Lord. Hold on. Let me erase everything. Hold on a second. All right, Luke what?
Then it's Luke 20,
Okay, Luke
27.
20. Hold on. Golly, Jess, calm down. We saying it so fast. I'm trying to write it down. Luke 20. All right.
27
27
through
through
40.
40. All right. And what are
Yeah,
you titling that?
if you go on from 41 to 47, we can finish off with David's son and Lord. If you wanted to
Okay.
do that.
What do you Jess, what is the context of Luke 20, 27 to 40?
It's children of the resurrection.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, talking 500 miles an hour.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got to slow down.
Slow down. Golly. All right. I think Misunderstood had one. What you got?
Hebrews 13:3.
Okay. Hebrews 13:3. Context. Well, actually.
Prison. Men in prison. Don't forget them.
Yeah, that's prison. All right. No. All right.
Little red caboose. Little red caboose. That song's gonna be in my back, the back of my mind all
Where
day
did
now.
Where did the song come from?
From your picture.
From my picture.
Little red caboose behind the train. The train.
Yeah,
Oh my
she's
Lord.
piggybacking off of what I said about his caboose.
Man, y'all need to get out of y'all's belly. What y'all need to do.
Wait. I didn't get to say
It's
mine.
Little Red Corvette.
Taylor said it's Little Red Corvette. Oh man.
That's right. Hello.
I had to poke back.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Where you been?
Hear you, bud.
Hey, I got one. Matthew 1:1 through Revelation 21:22.
Yeah.
Bet, bro.
Bro, I'm not writing these down because we're going to talk about all of them. I'm writing them down so we can see which one to start off with.
That's a good one to
Well,
start with.
I vote for naming.
Oh,
What do you
Naaman.
say? He votes for
Naaman.
what?
Naaman.
I like to say it in the Old Testament.
Yeah, I knew he was gonna say that.
That's fine. I like
do.
New Testament too.
No, I like the Old Testament too, though. I like both,
Well,
man. You
I
can't.
like the
have
Old
one with the
Testament
other.
better. I like the
can't
Old
have one with
Testament
the
better.
other.
Yeah. What book? What's the address to Naaman, Dre?
The Old Testament.
Ah. Okay.
That's
Yeah,
broad.
Genesis
That's
1:1.
I think it's in First Kings something. I don't know. I'm driving. I can't
Oh, okay.
describe my
No,
Bible.
just say you don't know. Just say you don't know. It's no big deal. I say, hey, Dre, where's the address to that? You should have just said God. Like, if you're going to be vague, you might have said before the beginning of time. Like, oh, somewhere back there. Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me see then. Let me look.
See.
Let me look it up.
Let me see if I can look it up here. I'm in that process right now. It's I'll tell you right now, 2505. No, Namus. Where is it here? Naaman. Oh, come on. You're not gonna tell me.
2 Kings. I need to
It's in
confirm
2
that.
Kings. It is in 2 Kings. But I'm looking.
Come on, book. Come on, book.
Yeah, let me yell at the book. Make it give me its fruit. Let's see. 2 Kings 5. Might be 5.
Yes, it's 4. It's actually you're right. 5 through it's 5, chapter 5, 5 through 15. 2 Kings chapter 5, verse
Hey,
5
Trot,
through
did you
15.
download
It started at 1.
Malachi yet?
What do you mean?
Oh, Trot, Did you download the live about Malachi?
No, not yet. I think I got 5. I think I got 5 more to go, and it's up there on the list. It's going to be one of the last ones because it's the most recent.
Yeah, let me know when you upload that one. I got to go back to that one.
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me, 2 Kings 5.
Chapter 5, verse 5 through 15. Yeah, because the increasing of the widow's oil is 4, 1 through 7. And then the rising of the dead child is 4, 18 to 37. The healing of the daily stool, the feeding of the multitudes, and then comes Naaman, the healing of Naaman the leper.
Yeah. All right.
I like this Bible that I got. This is a great study. Well, it doesn't have commentaries, which is cool, but it has all the information on the locations and everything like that.
No.
I don't like commentaries. That just gets you all messed up.
By the way, you've been thinking all morning. It's probably the Bible of the carnal. You got the carnal Bible.
I got what's that version that Unitarians use?
No, you got the in your belly. You got the in your belly version.
It's the Nazarenes use. It starts with an R, R-E-V or something like that. They don't want to read out of the King James. They only want to read out of that Bible.
Oh, Lord.
I know. A bunch of translations accepted.
It's because they argue about the Hebrew. That's why they argue about the Hebrew, most of them.
Most of them have the carnal Bible.
Yeah.
Well, they just want to make it very clear that Jesus is not God. So they'll use any verse that they can put a his or him or they. They like their pronouns.
Hey, Jordan said the Carna Asida Bible.
Exactly what it is.
All right, so we got discipleship.
Oh, the Carne Asada Bible is the best.
Oh.
Man, it is 9:40 and we haven't even gotten started yet.
Oh, we're fine. We're fine. All right, so we got let's see. Discipleship, nobleman, money, lampstand, the money Caesar, children of resurrection, prison, and Naaman. So which one of these we discussing?
Naaman.
Throw the lot. What is it that when they do the lots?
Throw the lots. Throw the lot. Cast the lots. Roll the dice.
The lots.
The dark.
Look at me. I'm
See
saying
where the
throw
Spirit
the lots.
takes us.
In Puerto Rico, they throw lots.
They throw lots.
Puerto Rico, they throw lots.
They throw
They
the
see
dice,
where-
brother, okay?
They throw lots and then throw chancleta.
They don't throw the
Chocolatos,
lots.
yeah.
They throw the dice. That's where I got it from. Throw the dice.
Throw the shoes.
And they get chicken. They bathe it with chicken blood before they do it.
Oh, man, that's nasty. That's what they do in Venezuela, man. And the Cubans do that nasty stuff.
Yeah. Got the whole neighborhood
All
just
right.
rank.
All right, try write one more down. Try, please.
Why do you think
right.
Dre was so happy when he found
Just
out he
for
has
the
a
future.
rooster in the bunch?
Hebrews. I'm gonna go to Hebrews like misunderstood. Hebrews 3, verse 12.
What?
Title.
No.
Title. Context.
Belief.
That's it.
Bro, you're gonna have
That's it.
you're gonna have enough for 2 weeks here.
One verse. One word. Makes sense.
And also, you know what, Troy? I have another one.
No.
What? I don't have an
Man, here we go.
No. I don't have an address. I don't have an address. Has God ever changed his mind?
Oh no, you gotta have You have to have an address.
Okay, I'll get the
What's
address.
the question?
I'll bring it back.
What was it?
Has God ever changed his
it?
mind? Has God ever changed his mind?
Yes, he has.
Oh my Lord.
Well, just one. Okay, so try. You act like I'm up every morning. at 5:30.
What? Hey, I give everybody a hard time. You just gonna have to take the business.
No,
Just gonna
I
have to
love
take the
it. No,
business.
You're
and I
like the
love
heat. Get
pushing
out of the
back.
kitchen.
That's why I have the issue of control. So I'm
Let me
working on
see.
that.
All right, let me see.
Well,
Let me see.
well, if that's the case, I like misunderstood question. I'm also gonna double down on that one. I'm gonna say Ezekiel chapter 1, the four faces, and
Yeah, no,
the
okay.
angel on the
Yeah,
firmament.
hey, misunderstood. The point of bringing up verses is because we're talking about Jesus. So you need to find a parable that most people may have an issue understanding, and we're going to talk about the parables, whether it's
Oh, I
Old
got one
Testament,
more
New
than
Testament. So it's not
Amen.
about, this is not just topics like out of the blue, because we talk about Jesus. So we need to
Well,
find
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
like a,
I understand that, and the reason behind that was just because when someone is, I don't know how you feel about people's, visions and all that stuff, because I haven't heard you speak about people who have visions and thoughts and things of that, or have been shown things. You have, but anyway, the case may be, if when you're shown something and then it's not going the way you thought it would. Is that Jesus changing, God changing his mind, changing the path of that individual.
No, you were just reading the whole issue the wrong way. I'm just kidding. You
yeah.
misunderstood it again, sister. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
yeah,
usually it's the human perspective that's off.
Yeah.
That's what I go with usually on that.
yeah. So,
But I do have one more.
oh my Lord, Bubba, you done gave
Lord.
three.
Hey,
Yeah,
I
let's
said I had
just
four,
save
but
it.
You
Save it for
get,
the
I
future.
was
Save it for the offering. Save it for the
no,
offering.
the thing is, the ones that y'all are picking, y'all need to remember it. Okay, you need to write it down on your little tablet over there. Put some
I
stars
did.
on it. So whenever I say, "Hey, what y'all want to discuss?" and y'all are like, "Oh, I don't know," well, you just wrote them down the other day. You just wrote them down the other day. All of a sudden, you don't remember. Come on now. All right,
Little
let's
red
see. Let's see.
caboose. Little red caboose.
Uh, no
Little
matter
red
of
caboose.
fact, I think Dre, didn't you want to talk about Naaman like a month
yeah.
ago?
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair.
I
We
remember
can
it.
get
I believe it was him.
we can do
Yep,
that one.
I love Naaman. Yep, I like that one.
We can get
Yeah.
that one out of the
I
way
like
real
doing
quick.
the shadows, bro. I love the shadows.
Well,
I do too.
the whole purpose of this live is shadows. So
I'm just kidding.
everybody listening, the whole purpose of this, that's why the show's called Descaled, right? So your eyes can be open. So the whole the argumentative things that even an 8-year-old can argue about, we don't argue about. We don't discuss those things here. We just talk about Jesus, right? So, and that's where
Feel like
everything.
the more you understand the Old Testament and the key words and those notes in the Bible, when you read the New Testament, it just comes alive. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
just how I see it for me
Yeah,
personally.
well, I mean, it's the truth. So all these other questions, right? I'm telling you, they all come together when you start seeing Jesus in the Old Testament and everywhere else, And I'm talking about
Amen.
the way he talks, the way he thinks. When you start seeing him everywhere, all these questions that people are arguing and debating about, like water baptism. I'm not even going to talk about water baptism, but uh, I didn't know. I was confused too at first, right? Because it looks like, do you need it? Do you not need it? I was unsure at a point. This was over 10 years ago, but I was still at a point I was unsure. But when I started finding Jesus in the Old Testament, I knew exactly what the answer was, and
Amen.
the answer was not given to me because I argued for 42,000 hours in a year. That's not how the answer was. Matter of fact, it came accidentally. I wasn't even seeking that answer, and I understood it. So, there's nothing wrong with apologetics. I believe in apologetics, but what people are calling apologetics, I don't believe in that. So apologetics is just kind of going around in circles, and there's nothing wrong for a little bit. You care enough to go around in circles with someone to to show them a truth, but talking to
try.
a
Naming is about water baptism. I'm joking.
Well, everybody, what? What?
Can we just save naming for tomorrow? Because I'm driving. I really want to be sitting down with my Bible and going over it. Just do one of the New Testament ones today. Save naming for tomorrow.
Wow,
Please.
no. Now
he wants his red
now I'm
pen.
ready for naming. Wow.
All right.
Yeah, nah.
Well,
Save naming for
the
tomorrow.
only reason
you can always watch the video. You can always watch the video.
Hey, Husha.
You can always watch the video, bro. Hey, we got sir, we got a Descaled YouTube channel. You can go there and watch it whenever you're ready. And the comfort of your home.
I would like to be a part of the YouTube channel.
Well, you are a part of it. We're listening to your voice.
No, he wants to sit at his fifth grade table he made so he can write on it and eat his chocolates.
Yeah, Bubba. That's it. Right
coloring book.
And he wants to eat his fruit and say he's eating cereal.
Okay, let's go.
Yes, sir. I want to have my nature cereal, my Crayolas,
my nature. Listen to this. What a twist. What a twist. Nature cereal.
And you want to listen to Apologetics?
Apologetics.
It's
Apologetics. Okay.
Jetics. Apologetics. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know if everybody knows. There is I know I just said it, but I'm going to say it again. There is a Descaled YouTube, and it is the @ symbol, so it's @Descaled, not Descaled, but ED, @Descaled Live, and there's I don't know, 17. I think it's 17 videos up right now. So this whole live, it's not edited, okay? It's not edited. Be warned. It is the entire 1, 2, or 3 hours. You can just, listen to it, or you can scroll through there. We don't have any, I don't know what the little dot deals are called, but I don't have the system dotted out. And some people, they get that advanced system, and they kind of put the dots in there whenever the conversation changes. Unfortunately, we're not doing all that right now, but I'll start at the top just so you can have an understanding. Like when you go on there, the first video that I see right now, it says making disciples, and there's just commas. Making disciples, study tools, carnal and spiritual mind, Dove sent 3x, meaning 3 times, sins forgiven by you. So those are kind of, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So the fourth video, it just says Ezekiel 23. Obviously, that's simple. And then I'll read one more. It says, I'll read this one. Energy drinks, country talk, Iraq, chessboard, you can't do everything. So they just kind of have titles with commas, or like talking points, I guess, with commas. All right, so we're going to talk about naming Tamara. I guess we'll just do them in order. So we'll do one of CJ's. Which one do y'all want to go over? Discipleship, the nobleman, money guy, or lampstand? It don't matter to me.
Lampstand or money guy?
Whatever he wants is fine with me.
Money.
All right, let's go to Luke. We'll just do Luke 19 since 3 people want to talk about the money. Let me put me a dot.
Wow, why do we got to talk about money? We talked about tithing the other day.
This is about discipleship. I'm just kidding. No, it's not. This is about money.
No. Yeah, we're going to go to Luke. Let's go to Luke. I don't think we'll be there long, but we'll see. Luke 19. All right, 21. Luke 19:21. Well, where is
Well,
19?
it's 11. 1911.
Luke 19:11.
Yeah,
Oh,
1911.
Well, which
I
one?
like those 1911.
Yeah, you told me 21, man.
Huh? 11
You
to.
told me.
Sorry, bud. 11 to 27 is actually what it is.
Oh, okay. 1911. Trey said I liked them. I liked them 1911s. They're real nice. They're real nice weapons.
That ride, Bubba.
Yep. All right, let's see. Is this the pounds? This is talking about pounds, isn't it? The pounds. Let's see. Added. Yeah. All right, we'll read it in just a second. Y'all give me a minute. I'll be right back.
All right.
Misunderstood since you there. I did see a video where like the the mother was asking like it was like two grown kids and the father. I don't know if that's one of the videos you were talking about. And like the wife comes up and asks like we should be fed first or whatever, whatever. I think I saw that video. But when you get that video, send it to me. I definitely am interested in watching it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Because I only send things that even though we're in Bible study, not everybody is where we're at or where are trying to get to the place to we're at to where we're all at, and we have to live amongst them. And so having these type of dialogues and discussion can open up versus other opinion, them pushing their narrative. And that's why yesterday it was so frustrating um, hearing about how these men who supposed to be men like you men here making these other women feel bad for how they live their
Yeah,
lives. You know what I mean?
some of them,
How can
some some of them lives are crazy. You sent me. I saw the one where they were talking about cis women, and they was
yes,
upset. Boy, they was like, "You're not gonna call me," and I believe that she's absolutely correct. You shouldn't have to call a woman a cis woman. You're a woman. You're a woman. Period. Point blank. The end. I agree. I thought that was crazy.
absolutely, absolutely. It's everything trying to be pushing a narrative, and that's not right. And
Nope.
trying to walking in this world knowing what we know and then seeing people being misled is very disheartening. And
Hmm.
then trying to articulate it for everyone to truly understand, but there's more of them than there are of you in these lives, and that's why I send them. So then maybe you can, not saying join in the box or whatever the case may be, but just see what is out here if you're not fully aware. You understand what I'm saying? Because how we can
Yeah.
say, people say that people like us, we stay in our bubble and we don't see the world. And
Yep.
it's true and it's not true, because how we want to be amongst believers, okay, who believe the same way and have the same thought and want this and have the same agenda at the end and have the same common goal versus everyone else. And they think that we're weird. We think that we're like the other Christians who want to condemn them for everything that they do. And I know we don't. But as long as we don't know, and then trying to go out there and trying to explain, as they say, everything is lost in the sauce. And it's not right, because they're being misled by people who say
Well,
that.
and
Go
there's
ahead.
there's this there's this spirit that like people feel like they have to call other people out, otherwise they're not like godly. And I think that's a wrong approach to things. You don't have to call anything out, and that doesn't mean you agree with anything either. I've seen a couple of videos. I seen one to Trot recently. I was like, man, this is wild, bro. What people are saying. I saw a video this morning, like this guy is like calling out specific pastors The
You're on mute, hon.
Can you send me the video too, if you don't mind?
Oh, absolutely. I think we're following each other, right, hon?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
Dre, you're still on mute.
I think there's 5-0 following him.
Real quick, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, he did.
Hey. So along the same lines is what he was saying, like we don't have any condemnation in Christ, and so when we start to condemn other people, that's when I mean that's when we start to be judged by those standards as well.
Absolutely.
If that
If
makes
someone
sense.
wants to think, yeah, absolutely, brother. I mean, because, we know that God used everyone. He used a
Yeah,
prostitute, a liar, a drunkard. He used everyone. And for someone who wants to change the way they lived, maybe this person was a woman of the night, or maybe
yeah,
this person was in prison, did robbery, did whatever. And these people who say they're like us, that believe in the Lord, they're condemning them.
yeah,
If you were to hear these lives, it would break your heart. It's hard. And these women are just crying, thinking that no one is going to love them. No one's
mhm,
going to do this because they have these kids and they have this and have that.
yeah,
And these men of God are just, they're so harsh. It's very disheartening. And that's why I come
mm,
over here and sometimes I'm a little bit in my belly when it comes to that, because I just don't understand how you can say you love the Lord so much, but you're condemning these women,
yeah. Let
and
me
and,
read
and,
this
and
for
and
you.
vice versa with these women as well.
Yeah, I agree. Well, so it brings to
Are
mind
these
this verse,
Christian lives or these are
Galatians.
non-Christian lives where it's a mixture of a little bit of
Non-Christian life,
everything?
sister.
Yeah, they're
That
they're
makes
they're
sense.
tough. Those are very tough too. I've seen a couple of them, and they're just, because when you do go in with the biblical standpoint of what the scriptures tell us how to live our lives, not everybody's open to receive it. So, and depending which live it is, they'll just boo you right out of the box. So that's a tough one. Those are, you got to go in with the very
Wisdom.
humble spirit and very kind of like just really your discernment has to be on point in those
Yeah,
lives, big
Exactly.
time.
But sister,
Your
when they
discernment has
use
to
the
be really
word
on point.
against them, but sister, it's when they use the word and go through Bible verses that give that context, that narrative, that's what gets me mad. And then you have these other people who are just wanting a better life. Maybe not, maybe wanting to know about God and how to change their life and want to do this and want to just be a better person.
Well, because these people are tied up in the ones that the men or the women that react in that negative aspect is because they're not giving Jesus, they're giving the law. They're not, you know, they
Yes.
haven't reached that place of being
My bad. I got a
filled
phone
with
call.
love.
Oh, you're fine,
you're
brother.
good.
They're desolate. Yeah, they haven't. The living waters are not running through their vessel. And when the
Yeah,
living waters are not running through your vessel, it's difficult to have the discernment that you need. It's difficult to give the love that you need to give. It's difficult to have the compassion that you should have because you don't have the living waters running through you. You're clogged up, and until you unclog yourself, that's what you're going to be facing every time. Not you, but until they unclog themselves, you're going to be facing that because which I would just say go in there and little by little just allow the discernment to lead and guide you, the Spirit of God. And the word tells us that faith comes by hearing the word. They
yeah,
need faith, they need Jesus, is what they're missing in their lives. So
yeah,
when they receive that faith, and it might be a word that you say of kindness, or maybe a verse that the Lord led you to read, and Proverbs or something, And that, that's all you have to do is just allow the Spirit to use you in that way. And you're not there to change anybody, because we're not stumbling blocks. We shouldn't be
Right.
Oh,
stumbling blocks.
absolutely.
We're vessels.
And that's why I asked Trot the way I ask and Dre the way I ask. So when I go into these boxes, I can say it in the it's in the biblical way, but for them to understand in a worldly way, if that makes sense.
Yo,
So they
definitely. You have
Yeah.
to. You got to speak to them where they're at the level that they're at in their um whatever walk they're in. Because if they're in the flesh, well, you're not gonna, speak to them in a carnal way. But the Holy Spirit gives you discernment to how to explain it to them.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So can I read this verse for you? It's
absolutely.
Galatians 5:14 to 16, so 3 verses, I guess. But for the law, for all the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. But if ye bite and devour one another, take heed that ye be not consumed one of another. This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. So, but verse 15, but if ye bite and devour one another, take heed that ye be not consumed one of another. So, like, that's essentially what
But do
I
you know
see when
something,
I see
brother?
these verses, when I see
You
these
give
lives.
You know something, brother? If she was to give those verses to them, that would bounce
Oh,
right
yeah.
off of them. You know
Yeah,
why?
yeah, they
Because
wouldn't
remember what
understand.
Trot was speaking about yesterday, the fruit?
Yeah.
The core problem comes from the root, and that's why the fruit is being rot. It becomes rotten.
Hmm.
It's not fruitful. And
Hey guys,
Yeah,
she's
that's
healing.
where's Truckies?
He said he'll be back in a couple minutes. Oh, there he is.
I'm right here.
he been here.
I've been here a couple of minutes. I just heard
Truckies,
CJ. What'd
Truckies,
he say?
bájate de ahí, que tu casa voy a ir.
What
What?
happened?
What's happening,
Zacchaeus.
Wait,
buddy?
He's singing
I
the
need an
song in
interpreter.
Spanish of Zacchaeus.
I need an interpreter. If we speak in tongues, there must be an interpreter.
He's singing this song in Spanish about Sakia. Now I can't say it in English. Get down from that tree that I'm going to your house when Jesus told them.
Zacchaeus.
Zacchaeus.
Yep. It's a little song we sung as a little kids in church.
Tortillas.
Zacchaeus, bájate de ahí, que a tu casa voy a ir.
He said
Man, they
tortillas.
used to put fear. You know what, Dre? They used that song to put fear in us.
The fear of climbing trees, or
No, because
Here's a funny
it was
fact.
when Jesus told him, "Get down from the tree, because I'm going to your house." So when we used to sing it, we knew the story because we were taught the story in Sunday school when we were little, and then we would sing the song. But it was like, it was taught more like be good and behave because Jesus will
oh,
come to your house. You know what I mean?
oh my goodness!
God, because
I'm
Jesus
Like
come
telling
to
you,
your
man.
house
Yeah,
and Jesus come to your house and do what?
you're
God,
right.
Oh,
unalive
and
people? What's going on
it's
here?
like, and we used to sing a song, about washing our hands and all that, because it was a song that God sees everything. So by the
Oh
time
my
you would finish
Lord.
singing the song, you knew as a little kid you couldn't hide. You grew up
Hey,
knowing
you know
you
that
cannot
No,
hide
about
from
time.
God.
the
No,
only
Hey,
thing I
Trot,
about
you
time
do
ever
you.
heard?
is
Hey, Trot, you ever heard
No,
the
but
you can't go to heaven song? Ever heard that song?
hold on,
I have.
let me say this first. About time that kid was done singing that song, you just prepared them to have nightmares.
Yeah.
Pretty much,
Well, check
God.
this.
pretty
Hey, listen
much.
to
Hey,
this
check this
song.
song out. Check this
Listen to
song out. When we was growing up, we used to sing this in Bible vacation school. It used to be like, "Oh, you
Oh,
can't go to heaven. No, you can't
oh,
go to
you can't
heaven
go
in some
there.
blue jeans. In some blue jeans. No, you can't go to heaven. No, you can't go to heaven in some blue jeans. No, you can't go to heaven in some blue jeans because the Lord don't have no washing machines.
No, you can't go to heaven.
oh wow,
And there's more
Oh,
lines.
you
man.
Don't
can't go
worry.
to heaven.
There's
No, you can't
plenty.
go to heaven in a limousine. In a
In a
limousine.
limousine.
Blah blah blah. And be like, because the Lord don't have no gasoline. So like basically just tearing you down the whole time. Like, hey, if I gotta go to heaven, good
What was
Lord,
the
I gotta
rocking
get.
chair one? The rocking chair.
I
I'm like, oh.
Golly,
Okay.
that must
We
be.
had
Hey,
different
that
versions
must
too.
be. That must be right in between
See,
Psalms and Proverbs. I think that's called
yeah.
the BS. It's the BS version.
You
Yeah.
remember, Dre, me lavo la manita con agua
Nah,
y
that's in the
jabón.
Maccabees,
Se
bro.
la presento a Cristo con mi de
The
la oración.
Maccabees.
Ten mucho cuidadito y mira dónde va. Que Dios está mirando y es siempre la verdad. And by the time you were done with that song, you were like, oh my God, he's watching me. He's watching me. God is watching me. He sees everything. He knows everything. You were
Oh my Lord, man.
traumatized.
God, they want to know why all these kids are unaliving
Oh,
themselves. Jeez.
hey,
Oh.
the rocking chair verse was that God doesn't want any rockers there.
Oh my Lord, bro.
Bro, hey,
Yeah.
try. You
Legalism
got
to
PTSD
its
from
finest.
PTSD from Iraq. I got PTSD from Bible study growing up.
Yo,
No
same, bro.
lie.
Same, bro.
No
From
lie.
Sunday school and children's church, bro.
Dude,
God.
these
So
songs.
when you're asked, hey, how is Sunday school? You're like, it's doing fantastic.
Right, bro, with tears rolling down your face.
Oh my
God,
Lord.
God knows everything. God knows
Yeah.
everything.
Oh my Lord.
I'm not like this isn't even a joke. Try like I literally lived in fear as a little kid for years, bro. I had nightmares that I was going to hell. I like my whole life, bro. Like as a little kid, I was just like, bro, what in the world? Like that's what I never understood. Like my in my mind, I would look at my hands. Like this is gonna sound crazy, but I look at my hands and I'll be like, who am I and what am I doing here? And I would literally ask myself that question, like, what is
Bro.
this? Because of the
Dude.
stuff that was going in my head. Because I did think about this stuff. I don't know if the other little kids
Yeah.
thought about it, but I thought about it. I would go home and I'd be like, what am I doing? Why did God create me? That was like my question. Like, God, why would you make me to be here? Like, this is nuts. Like, I don't want to be here. Like, why did you even make me? Like, what?
Yeah.
Who
Or
am
you
I?
tried
Like, it was
so
like
hard.
all these things was going through my brain.
Or you tried so
No, I didn't
hard
try
to
Yeah.
so
do
hard. I
everything
really
right.
started
I
questioning,
did.
like, why would
You
God
try.
do this? You tell me God is God of love, but why would He do this? Like, why can't I wear jeans? You know, like stuff like that.
Man, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
I would do. I would try
that's
hard.
what no, go ahead, Jess.
I would try really with because we grew up in both. We both grew up in Assemblies of God, and a lot of legalism. So you would try your hardest to just make sure everything you did was right. Everything was perfect. But the more you tried, the more condemnation you felt because I knew deep
Yeah.
down inside I was doing. If I did something wrong and I didn't say it to anybody, I knew I was lying or I knew I committed, you know, a sin. It might have been something simple, but for me it was humongous. Yep, you live with until he delivers you from that, and he frees you because it's the Spirit of God, Jesus. He frees you from that legalism. He really does. Because it's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why you have uh people today that uh we live in a fallen world, and the firstborn part of us is fallen. It's imperfect. But the thing I always say, which should be evidently clear, is the way it became perfect, it was never up to you to make it perfect. Ever. And it's just sad that people become saved spiritually, and because of their misunderstanding, they try to make their flesh perfect. Obviously, like let's say you take a person that is attracted to the same sex. Let's take this person, for instance, and they go around and they hate Christians. Do you know I've talked to so many of them and I ask, hey, why do you hate Christians? 99% of the time. Do y'all know why a lot of people that have they're attracted to the same sex, do you know why a lot of them hate Christians? Have y'all ever
Oh,
asked them?
absolutely. Yes.
Let's see people's answers. What's the answers that y'all have been given?
Who's gonna
I've
go
been
first?
given that God would not love us because he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Um, that God is a judging God. He doesn't forgive for that type of sin. He made us to
Okay,
multiply.
well let's not give all the answers from one person. Has anybody
Yeah,
ever, other than misunderstood, has anyone else asked a person that's attracted to the same sex, have you ever asked them why? Because a lot of them do. They do not like Christians. Now, there are some that do, and I'll show you the reason why they do, but the majority of people that are attracted to the same sex, the majority of them, they all have the same answer when it comes to disliking Christians. Does anybody else? Do y'all know why they dislike Christians?
They
because
say we're
they feel
judgmental,
judged.
bro.
They're
Yeah.
judgmental.
Yeah. So
That we don't love them
the
and accept them
I
for
was
what
well,
gonna
yeah.
they
So
are. We
the
don't
main
love them,
reason
and
the
why
main
did God
reason
create them like that?
the main reason is because Christians put them under the law. That's why. That's why. Okay.
Exactly.
And so when the Jews were put under the law, and I correct me if I'm wrong. Nobody could accomplish the law. So it doesn't matter many more thousands of years. No man would have ever been able to do it. Don't you understand the principle? Like the whole point is 5,000 more years could have went by, 10,000, a million more years could have went after the law was given, and it would still remain the same. There would never have been a man that would be able to completely, perfectly uphold the law. So some people treat it like, oh, well, if God would have waited a little bit longer, somebody could have done it. No, don't you understand? He could have kept the law here for billions of years, and nobody would have been. It's never going to happen, ever. And so
Mary
when
was
you,
sinless, brother.
oh, okay,
Oh
all right,
Lord.
yeah. Well, Mary was
Hey,
born of the first Adam, therefore she was not sinless. What?
you must have got back after I gave my answer to misunderstood. Because that's
Well,
exactly
the
what
point,
I said.
yeah, but the point I'm making is, when you put them under the law, which the law was given to the Jew. So you take whoever, it doesn't matter who it is. I'm just bringing them up specifically because a lot of them, they hate, man. They despise Christians. And the reason why they do is because there's these Christians that believe that you're supposed to go put everybody under the law, and you're putting them in bondage. You're actually doing what the Bible's telling you not to do. And so there's this confusion that if you don't put them under the law, then you're condoning whatever kind of behavior. But the thing is, that's not the gospel. As people are not understanding that, you're supposed to minister the gospel to people. That's what you're supposed to do, regardless of what your belly is telling you. Let me ask you this. When Jesus told, or I'm sorry, let me correct myself. When God told Jonah to go preach to Nineveh, was it his spirit or his flesh that told God, no, I'm not going to go preach to Nineveh?
His
What
flesh.
was it?
His flesh.
Yeah, it was his flesh, and then also he had an unalive spirit. So in a way, it was both. But the point is, it most certainly his flesh, 100% it was. That's the belly that he got into. He got into his carnal belly. So let me ask you this: what part of Jonah despised Nineveh? What part of him?
His flesh.
His flesh. So Christians today believe that when they hate a certain people, and they say they don't, but if you're not ministering the gospel to them, then you're just like Jonah. You hate them. You hate them. Jonah was hating them, these people in Nineveh. He wasn't loving them. There's only one way to love someone, and that's to give them the gospel, right? Spareth the rod, hateth the child.
Amen.
Everybody, before they come to the Lord, can be called a child of God, not in the sense that they have been born again, but in a sense that God cares for them like a child. Not that they've been born again, but sparing the rod, Jesus is the rod. So if you spare the rod, which is the gospel, that they've been redeemed, then you hate them. Simple as that. But when you don't understand what you're reading in the Bible, the only thing you see is God's hate. That's all you see. And so that's what you preach. I'll tell people all the time, if all you see is people's sin, then you're in your belly, and your belly is your God, and you worship your flesh, and your flesh tells you what to do, and you listen and you obey. And you try to make everybody believe that it's the Spirit of God that's doing this. No, it's not. The Spirit of God told someone to go pray for Nineveh. That's what the Spirit of God. The disciples said, do you want us to cast fire from heaven? And he said, no. Do you not know what spirit you are of? Not to destroy. The first flood destroyed. The Bible says that God said that he put a rainbow in the sky so he would never send a flood to destroy again. He never said he would never send another flood. He said he would never send one to destroy, because Jesus, the living water that came to this earth, that is the second flood. There's two floods. There's one that destroyed, and then there's a Spirit of life, which is the living word, the living water that came through Christ, and it floods the earth today, which is his grace, which is the living water. So there's two floods. And Jesus said, I didn't come to destroy. I came to save. So if he came to save, then that's the gospel. That's the truth. That's the flood. The flood that came through him, it only does one thing. It saves, period. That flood had nothing to do with destroying. It's the gospel. And I'm saying all that to say that the reason that people, whatever reason that they claim, it all always comes back to judgmental Christians. And that's how you know that those Christians are not ministering the gospel. They're ministering death. And when you minister death, what you're going to get is death. So the real Bones. What's up, Bones?
What's going on? I'm just going to say for a minute, who was ever talking over here? I like what this man has got to say and what he been preaching on. But you know, I've been saying it for the longest time now with different videos of messages I put out there, you know, where you talk about how people easily get deceived and different things like that. Well, I've been saying it for the longest time now. A lot of people don't realize it's so easy to have evil doing the work in there, and you not know it's doing the work in there, and you get deceived because something comes along and it tickles your ear just a little bit, and you like what you got to hear. So, boom.
Thanks, bud.
I mean, I'm just saying in general, you know, and also the way, you know, other stuff y'all was talking about, you know, so many people, you know, they get caught up in judging others instead of going out and preaching the gospel like they're supposed to. Like this guy over here was saying, you know, we got to go out and we got to preach the gospel to others. And I mean, it ain't just Christians. There's many different religions where you've been seeing it for years where they say, oh, it's okay. We got to go out there and we got to judge one another. But in my opinion, when you're out there judging someone, who gave that person the right to say they sit that high? I ain't seen nobody come along and say, hey, you sit up here as high as God does or Jesus does or whatever the case might be. So it's okay for you to go around and judge everybody and condemn them for the sin they're living in. Instead of doing all of that, why ain't more people out there preaching the gospel and spreading the love? Because I've been saying for the longest time now, the one thing we've been missing is more love and unity. We need to start spreading more of that stuff. Too many people out there so worried about hating on somebody, condemning someone, you know, want to blaspheme on that person or whatever the case might be and try to bring another person down because of how they living or what they doing. But instead, ain't we supposed to be lifting one another up instead of judging everybody?
Yeah, and that's pretty much what we're talking about right now. But with all that being said, we were supposed to be reading, let's see, Luke 19, starting at 11. CJ, are you ready to read that or what?
Yeah, I think so.
I send it.
Starting at 11. Actually, 12. We'll do 12.
No, read 11. Read
All
11.
right. And as they heard these things, he added and spake a parable, because he was nigh to Jerusalem, and because they thought that the kingdom of God should immediately appear. He said,
Okay, so
therefore,
hold on. He said this parable for what reason? Why?
Because he was nigh to Jerusalem, and because they thought that the kingdom of God should immediately appear.
That's what they thought. So they believed that the kingdom of God should immediately appear. And so he says a parable, right, based on that understanding. All right, go ahead.
He said, therefore, certain noblemen went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come. But his citizens hated him and sent a message after him, saying, we will not have this man to reign over us. And it came to pass that when he was returned, having sorry, I lost the place. Came to pass
15. 15.
That when he was returned, having received the kingdom, then he commanded these servants to be called unto him, to whom he had given the money, that he might know how much every man had gone by trading. Then came the first, saying, Lord, this little baby, Lord, thy pound hath gained 10 pounds. And he said unto him, well, thou good servant, be thou hast been faithful in a very little, have thou authority over 10 cities. And the second one came to the Lord, saying, Lord, thy pound hath gained 5 pounds. And he said likewise to him, be thou also over 5 cities. And another came, saying, Lord, behold, here is thy pound, which I have kept laid up in a napkin. For I feared thee, because thou art an austere man. Thou takest up that thou layest not down, and reapest that thou didn't not sow. And he saith unto him, out of thine own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Thou knewest that I was an austere man, taking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow. Wherefore then gavest not thou my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required mine own with usury? And he said unto them that stood by, take from him the pound, and give it to him that hath 10 pounds. And they said unto him, Lord, he hath 10 pounds. For I say unto you, that unto everyone which hath shall be given, and from him that hath not, even that he hath shall be taken away from him. But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither, and slay them before me. Goodness.
Yeah. So that sounds like a lot like something we read last week.
Yeah.
Right. So here, let me ask you this. Why does he keep repeating himself? Anybody?
They don't listen. They're deaf. They're deaf.
So let me
He
so
always
let me ask you
confirms
this.
everything
Let me ask you this.
twice. He always confirms everything
So let me ask you
twice.
this. So let me ask you this: is he saying the exact same thing here, or is it a
Over
little
and
different?
over and over, and he just uses different storylines, but it's the
There's only one
same
truth.
That's
message.
right.
This is only one
There's
truth,
only
man. It's
one
the
truth.
same
There's only
story,
one truth.
same message, different
So
storylines. That's all it is.
right. So when you get familiar with the way that Jesus thinks, he could be saying his message, which is the truth, right? And it seems like he's saying something different because he's using different man words to explain what he's saying, but he's saying the exact same thing spiritually over and over. Why? Why does he keep saying the same? Why, when we go to the Old Testament, why is everything in the Old Testament? I don't care whose story you bring up. Why does every one of them talk about the kingdom of heaven or the gospel?
Because they don't listen. It's just like, okay, I'm going to give you an example. We see the shadows in the Old Testament, and we're starting to, thank God, we're starting to understand. And then in the New Testament, he's repeating the same message, which is Jesus Christ, him crucified. He's the redemption. He's everything. He's the living water. He's everything that he already told us in the New Testament. I'm in the Old Testament. And then I'm starting to believe now that in Revelation, he's not going to judge Israel. He's going to come and judge those 7 churches, which is us, because we're not listening. We're not listening. We're
Okay,
not
but if you
listening.
say we're not listening to what?
The truth to him, that he
But
is
no, no,
everything.
no, no. But what? But okay. So what's the truth? What's the message? So he's saying
Jesus
the same
Christ, the
thing
gospel,
over.
Jesus Christ, salvation,
That's the
Jesus Christ,
message.
love,
That's
love,
the
love,
message.
love, love, love.
Well, God is love, right?
Jesus,
So, but the message is Him.
it's
He's the
him.
message, and
If
so
he be lifted up,
he.
he will draw all men unto him, is what he said.
What does
If
that mean?
he
If
be
he, what does
lifted
that
up.
mean? What does that mean if he be lifted up?
In my life, when I walk, people are going to see my
No,
fruits. Well, we
no,
lift
Jess,
him
that's
up.
not what that's talking
Okay.
about. Nope, that ain't talking about lifting him up like that. Him being on the cross, that is if he be lifted up. He was lifted up on the
Oh,
cross,
okay, that's right.
not through us. So if just because you're quote unquote
Oh, I
lifting
see.
up
Okay,
Christ,
I
no.
see.
Him being lifted up was talking about his resurrection. So because of his death, burial, and resurrection, all men will be drawn to him because of
Amen.
that, the
Because of that.
gospel,
That's the
right?
gospel. That's
So
right.
even though that translates to us talking about him being lifted up has already happened because the
Exactly.
death, burial, and resurrection already happened. So now all we do is uphold that truth, right? But if you pay
Mm-hmm.
attention though, he says the same thing. Like a spiritual understanding person could get bored listening to Jesus.
Do you think he okay, I'm just going to throw this scenario out. He knew, because God knows everything. He knows everything. He knew that we were going to screw it up so bad and start taking all these parables and start teaching so many different things that because of our sake or for his name's sake, he just told us the same truth in so many different ways, you know, knowing that when the Spirit did reach us, we were going to say, wow, there is nothing else. It's just
Yeah,
him.
well, it's so his again. It's because of Proverbs 2 that says it's the glory of God to conceal
Seal a
a,
matter.
a matter, but it's the honor of kings to
Kings
search out a thing. So
to
when the
search out.
king searches it out, when you dig and you find and your eyes become open and you understand what he's why he did it the way that he did it, the reason, then you start noticing that there was no malicious intent. He wasn't on purpose trying to be secretive. He wasn't trying to be secretive. He just being himself. The carnal mind, it's hidden from the carnal mind, right? So
Because
he hides.
only his sheep hear his voice.
Yeah, so he hides things, but not in a way that you think, like if he's on purpose, like hiding it. It's not that. It's just that he is hidden from the carnal mind. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
The
Oh
carnal
yeah.
mind cannot see the way.
Mm-mm.
It cannot see
Mm-mm.
the way. So when he put in the Garden of Eden, it says that the fiery sword was placed there, and it says to keep the way to the tree of life. So ever since that happened, that's the only thing that was going to keep the way was the Spirit, which is the Word, the fiery sword, the Word. And the Word is God breathed. The black letters on the white page in the Bible is not the Word. It's not the God breathed part. God's breathed, you cannot see. Your physical eyes. Your physical eyes cannot see God's Word, just like we are God breathed. And if we were standing before each other, right in front of each other, you can't see the God breathed with your physical eyes inside of a man. You can't see that. It's God breathed, and God is a spirit. Therefore, the God breathed part in the physical Bible cannot be seen either. That's why it says that the Bible is God breathed. But people make the mistake and say, yeah, all the black letters on the white page is God breathed. No, you cannot see God breathed, man. That's why I tell people all the time, we need to get on some level ground here. Like, people just hopping around all over the place. So they pick up this physical Bible and said, this is God breathed. Well, God breathed is in that physical book, just like God breathed is in us. It's not different. Just because it's not different. Just because God breathed. Okay, when you pick up the physical Bible and you say, this is God breathed, you're not lying. But then you ask them, what do you mean? They'll literally tell you that all the black letters on the white page are God breathed. No, the black letters on the white page was written down by a man. And, that's why we look so foolish in front of people. People's like, who wrote the Bible? And I was like, well, Moses wrote this part, and man, a human did. Oh, okay. And they go to something else real fast. And you're like, whoa, why'd you bring that up? Oh, because most of you Christians say God wrote that. I said, well, I can show you what God wrote. And then you go over the word. You say, God wrote that. So what do you want me to show you? You want me to go over what man wrote? Or you want me to go over what God wrote? Which part? So both are needed. Those men had to entrust it in God and write down the black letters on the white page. Obviously, the stories of these people were true. They have to be written down. They are important. But it still doesn't take away the importance of the God-breathed part. And the God-breathed part doesn't take away the importance of the black letters on the white page. They're both just as important. But to say that you're reading the God-breathed part when you read the black letters on the white page, that's not entirely true that way. No. Spareth the rod, hateth the child. Discipline your kids. Yes, 100%. But teach your kids about Christ or you hate them. That's a more stronger truth there. And so to say that, that doesn't need to be understood, that's just nonsense, But again, same thing being said, which we went over. What was the other one we went over? I don't remember which one it was. Do y'all?
It was just that one. We haven't got. It was.
No.
We just got to
It
one.
was a different one. It was worded differently.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it was it was the talent. It was the talents.
Yeah.
The 10. No, talent.
Well, no, it was the talents. It was the father sent his. No, there was a man that owned a wine press. I think it was the wine press one. Or he owned a vineyard with the wine press. That's what it was, and he gave each man a talent. Yeah. So, but notice, it's the exact same thing. The same thing is being said here. That to right here. He says it right here. To everyone, this is 26. So this is Luke 19:26. For I say unto you that unto everyone which hath shall be given, and from him that hath not, even that he hath shall be taken away from him. And this is talking about spiritual revelation. And people read these things and they think that all God is always talking about is money, That's not what he's talking about. He's saying you need to multiply what God has given you, a spiritual revelation. You need to tell other people, and it needs to be revealed to them. The spiritual pearl, the spiritual treasure. The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man who finds a treasure in the land. Then he goes, sells everything that he has, and he comes back and buys the property. Jesus told the man, follow me. He said, oh, man, I've done everything that the law, everything. He goes, well, you've done everything except for one thing. Go sell everything you have and follow me. Why does he keep saying to people, sell everything you have and follow me? And then he says, the kingdom of heaven is likened to a man that finds treasure on a piece of property. Then he goes and sells everything he has so he can have the property. What's the land? What's the property that people are wanting in these parables?
Souls.
Well, no, it's Jesus. Jesus is the property with the treasure. He's it. He's the promised land. He's the promised land.
I was thinking the other way around. I was thinking that we are to,
But he's contesting of him. But he's contesting of himself. That's why he told the scribes and the Pharisees, you think he's talking about the scriptures. He said, you read scriptures because you believe you find life in them, but they contest of me. So everything that he says in parables, they're contesting of him still. Everything. He's the one that wrote this whole thing. The whole thing's contest of him. He talks about himself. The parable of Lazarus in Abraham's bosom. Jesus is Lazarus. He's contesting of himself again.
You know what's amazing, Trop? When a Christian takes a verse in the Bible and you're talking to them, and they'll take one verse, or you'll share a verse with them, and then they'll take another verse to contradict your verse, and then it goes on. And it's like, and I sit there and I go, wait a minute, verses are not supposed to contradict themselves. They flow. The story is not different.
No, the story's not different. All that is, it's just a bunch of pride. It's about people wanting to be right. So they're not trying to contradict the Bible. What they're trying to do is tell that person, you're contradicting the Bible. And so the other one says, you're contradicting the Bible, because they're fighting for wisdom, but they're fighting for man's wisdom, because the spiritual wisdom don't fight. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to fight. It's the truth. And those that have ears to hear, let them hear. And everybody else, just until they get there, until they understand, again, apologetics. There's a difference between apologetics and arguing, and every person needs to find where that line is. Because just because you argue with people about the Bible don't mean you're doing apologetics. You can call it that if you want to, but and the Bible does make it clear that it's as long as Jesus is being proclaimed, that's a good thing. But there is a better way. Like if somebody was being sustained, right, by eating crickets, grasshoppers, worms, isn't it good that they're eating? I mean, they should live, but couldn't we agree that there's better food? Right? So just because people are proclaiming Christ by arguing, it's not completely bad. At least they're talking about Jesus. It's better than not talking about him. But to say there's not a better way, that's not true. There is a better way. Love is always the better way. And when you say, oh, well, I am loving them, that's why I argue with them for 32 hours a day. That doesn't mean you're showing love just because you're arguing with them about the Bible. Christ is being proclaimed nonetheless. But there's a better way, and contesting of Christ is the better way. But all right, so that was, let's see, Luke 19:11. Let's see. All right. Who gave money to Caesar and children of resurrection? Who gave those two?
I think that was me, right?
CJ.
Hold on. Oh, who?
I thought the money was CJ.
I
Yeah, no.
what's
See,
the address? What's the
the
address?
one we just hold on a second. The one we just went over, the nobleman
Children of
and money.
Resurrection was me.
Okay, so which one out of those two? Money. I got money, Caesar, and children of resurrection.
Let's do the
And
children of
then,
the resurrection.
all right, so that's in Luke
Yeah.
20. Let's see, 27. Let's see. Yeah. All right, Jess, you got to read it. You brought it up.
Okay, hold on. Let me Luke 20, 27.
Yeah, 27.
Then came to him certain of the Sadducees, which deny that there is any resurrection, and they asked him, saying, Master, Moses wrote unto us, if any man's brother died, having a wife, and he died without children, that his brother should take his wife and raise up seed unto his brother. There were therefore 7 brethren, and the first took a wife and died without children, and the second took her to wife, and he died childless, and the third took her, and in like manner the 7th also, and they left no children and died. Last of all, the woman died also. Therefore, in the resurrection, whose wife of them is she? For 7 had her to wife. And Jesus answered and said unto them, The children of this world marry, are given in marriage, but they which shall be according worthy to obtain that world and the resurrection from the dead, neither marry nor are given in marriage, neither can they die any more, for they are equal unto the angels, and are the children of God, being the children of the resurrection. Now that the dead are risen, even Moses trod at the bush when he called the Lord the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. For he is not a God of the dead, but of the living, for all live unto him. Then certain of the scribes answering said, Master, thou hast well said. And after that they durst not ask him any questions at all.
Yeah. So let's go to, let's see, they perceive craftiness and sin. Okay, so just in context here, because you do have the tribute to Caesar, and it says, and they asked him, saying, Master, we know, notice they're calling him Master. It says, we know that thou sayest, and let me show you what's happening here. So we're on the show, and someone comes up and goes, I got a question. That's what's happening here.
Exactly.
Right? So they say, so this is the Caesar tribute, which is right before this.
And they say, Master, try.
Here they're talking, it's just they're talking to Jesus, and they say, or I'll just read it, and it says, starting at 19. So Luke 20, 19, and the chief priests and the scribes the same hour sought to lay hands on him. Okay, so notice they came in with an arterial motive, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And what's and what is Satan's best way to start deceiving you is to gain your trust. And how do you gain a Christian's trust when you're an Islamic believer? I have a question, right? Because a good teacher, they answer questions, right? If you're a good teacher, you answer questions. But the Bible makes it clear to be wise as a serpent, but gentle as a dove. You need to know the darts and the wiles of, so you need to know. So when they come slithering in and they say, I have a question. No, you don't. You have a point. What's your point? You don't have a question. And they're like, no, I genuinely do. Okay, well, all right, go ahead. And then sure enough, it's the same kind of attitude. This attitude right here where it says, the same hour sought to lay hands on him, and they feared the people, for they perceived that he had spoken this parable against them. And the parable which was above that was the husbandman parable, right? And they watched him and sent forth spies. Sent forth spies. Hey, go to this guy's live. Go to this guy's live. Spies, which should feign themselves just man, that they might take hold of his words, that so they might deliver him unto the power of the authority of the governor. So what are they trying to do? They're trying to trick him up with his words. Any fault, they pull out the red pen. Any fault. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. That's not what that means. But they want to do it in public. They want to do it in public because they want to take it's about the people, see? They want to do it in public. That's why I tell people, hey, if you want to argue or debate, why don't you DM me? 1%, if less, will actually go to the DM. And out of that percentage, the majority of them are no longer even wanting to talk about what we were discussing. They want to change topic. And it says, take hold of his words so they might deliver him to the power of the authority of the governor. And they asked him, saying, Master, we know that thou sayest and teachest rightly, neither accepts thou the person of any, but teaches the way of God truly. So, we know you're a good teacher. You're so good. And that's why we have questions, because you're such a good teacher. Like if Jesus falls for flattery. Like if the Spirit falls for flattery. Did not Jesus know who Judas was the whole time?
Amen. Yes, he did.
Okay, so the world thinks if you don't call them out, that you don't see them coming. No, the Spirit sees you coming a mile away. Okay, but what they don't understand, is the story of what's the name of the girl that saved Israel?
Deborah?
The one that
Esther.
Yes, Esther.
So they don't really understand the story of Esther, where the man that wanted to embarrass Esther's uncle, it actually flipped on him, and he made the hangman tower.
Yeah, he ended up hanging on that.
And he ended up hanging on that. And so, see, they don't understand that the Spirit sees you coming a mile away. I have a question. No, you don't. You have a point. You don't have a question. You come here to try to embarrass in front of the people, just like Satan always does. It's always trying to steal what Satan sees as like credit, street cred. I'm going to take away the street cred. Just like politicians. Watch politicians. They devour each other. They will bring up anything. Why? Because they know most of the people are dumb enough to believe it. Even if it's true. Let's say we have a politician that is amazing. And let's say when he was 20 years old, he got in a car accident and like maybe ran. And somebody got really injured and they were able to like somehow make it look like it wasn't his fault. They will try to use that. And you know what? That was an accident. But they will take the person away from you that is really trying to help you because you're too stupid to have a good time. And they'll say, look what he did when he was 20. And you know what? This is a good dude. And he can serve the community well. But they see that if they can show you he's got mistakes, that you won't listen to him anymore. And now he can't help the community. You know why? Because they didn't vote for him like a bunch of dummies. Because you allow people to take good people out of the community because they're bad people. They make believe that this is a bad person. And now you don't vote for him. Because they found one time that there was an accident and someone kind of got hurt and we can't prove if he was driving or not, but he was there. Just a lot of shenanigans, you know. Shame that people get destroyed by these kind of things, right? And this is where legalism comes in. This is where the law comes in, and you're not a good person. So that's all they're trying to do with Jesus. They're just trying to make him not look like a good person so they can go hang him in the gallows. That's all this is about. But they call him teacher. Oh, you're such a good teacher. Oh, let me ask you all the questions. You're so good. And the whole time, everything is seen. It's just not being called out for a certain reason. Excuse me. But he says, and they asked him saying, Master, here's 21. So Luke 20:21. And they asked him saying, Master, we know that thou sayest and teacher rightly. Okay, I already read that. So you're a great teacher. 22. Is it lawful for us to give tribute unto Caesar or no? Notice what they're asking. Notice what they're asking. You know it's a trap. It's a trick question, right? So look how they do it today. I have a question. Okay, what? Can God make a stone so heavy that he can't pick it up? Oh, man. It doesn't matter if you say yes or no, right? It doesn't matter because the question is it's not a real question anyway, but because they have a misunderstanding of God, like, first of all, God wouldn't even think to do such a thing. Like the thought of that wouldn't even be there. That comes from a fallen man with his little peanut brain. He thinks he's figured out some sort of way to make the spirit fall.
2,000 years
But
later,
here,
the question's still the same.
the question will never change. Satan has the same he doesn't have new tactics. He uses the same tactics, just of confusion, right? But he perceived their craftiness. What is this? He perceived. He perceived? He perceived. He knew. Hey, I have a question. Yeah, no, you don't. No, you don't, buddy. I saw you coming a mile away, dude. No, you don't. He says, why tempt ye me? Show me a penny. He literally told him, why are you tempting me? Show me a penny. Whose image is on the subscription? Who has it? And they said, it's Caesar. And he said unto them, render therefore unto Caesar the things which be Caesar's, and unto God the things which be God's. And they could not take hold of his words before the people, and they marveled at his answer and held their peace. And so the one that we're reading here, where it says, where's the end of it? And the certain scribes answered. Okay, so 39. So now this is after the Sadducees and the resurrection. We're at 39. Luke 20:39. So after he talks about not marrying and marrying in heaven, now remember, they've already thrown a few questions at him already. And it says, then certain of the scribes answered and said, Master, thou hast said well. And after they durst not ask him any questions at all. And that word durst, it's like dare, like, they dare, like he's embarrassing them so many times. They're like, man, I don't want to ask him any more questions. They're looking dumber by the second. I don't know if you realize, but certain sects of people, when we first started Descaled, there's certain sects of people that would come up here all the time. How many times do you see them come up now? And they don't. And people say, oh, it's because they're all blocked. No, I unblocked everybody a few days ago, like a week, actually almost 2 weeks ago now. So that ain't it. It's because they dare not to ask any more questions. They're like, oh, man, this dude. So you could play their game, or you could just be wise about it and say, hey, we don't do that here, buddy. Like, it's just not going to happen. Like, you come up here with these weird questions. And then does that mean they're ever going to stop? No. But if you use common sense, why did it stop? It was pretty heavy there at the beginning. Well, how come it stopped all of a sudden? You know why? Because they can't get me in my belly. So they go looking for dry, desolate places. Ain't that where they go? Ain't that what the word tells us? They go look for dry, desolate places where everybody's arguing like fools for 5 hours. That's where they go. Dry, desolate places. So
empty homes.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
try
anyway, yeah.
before you end, I gotta show you all of my parents. I'm at their house. All their monitos.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, because with what they're asking of him here, it says, the children of this world marry and are given marriage, but they which shall be accounted worthy to obtain the world, it says, and the resurrection from the dead neither marry nor are given in marriage. Neither can they die any more, for they are equal unto the angels and are children of God, being the children of the resurrection. He's talking about the spirit. Now that the dead are raised, talking about in the spirit, even Moses showed at the bush when he called the Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and of Jacob. So if the God of Abraham, Isaac, and of Jacob is talking to Moses, what he's clearly pointing out is the people you're claiming are dead are not dead. That's what he's telling them. So they come to him with this idea about how things are in this world, and he starts pointing out your perspective is of this world, but you're wrong. The whole way you're viewing it is wrong. It's kind of like he's telling them, the people you're bringing up, these 7 men and this woman, these people you're bringing up, are they even saved? Because if not, they're not going to be alive that day anyway. That's pretty much what he's telling them. So you're looking at this whole thing completely wrong. He said God is a God of the living, and you're talking about people who are quote unquote dead. So what he's saying is if they're born again, they'll be up there. But in this world is where they give away women to marry, and women accept man's hands to engage in marriage. And notice he's just talking to him from a completely different platform. But the questions that they're bringing up are just carnal, just very carnal, based on things of this world. And just the way he answered them is just straight up, man, just like 100% spiritual. They probably said he was crazy in their own head, probably. They're like, "Oh, what's this dude talking about?" All right, we're not going to ask him questions today anymore. We'll see you next week, bro. We'll hop on your live next week, bro. With another question. But Dre, what were you going to show me, or what would you say?
Oh, I'm gonna show you. My parents. They have all the stuff that I was telling you about. The little watch. Hold on. Let's just give me the big screen. I'm gonna show you.
Oh my God! Here comes the monitos.
The little monitos. Let's see what he's talking about here.
So that's
what
baby
is that?
Jesus. This is
hold on, go back. That's
seen one cool, like that. That's nice.
Yeah, they got some cool ones. So like there goes the 3 kings that we know is not 3 kings, but there they go right there.
Oh, that's cool.
And then the red heifer.
The red heifer. Is that a donkey over there to the left?
Yep.
Hey,
yep.
There she. Hey, there she is.
Yeah. And then here's another one.
Oh
yeah. And then, dang, that's loud. Jeez.
He said you need some background music.
Right, the lion and the lamb. Look, another one. I told you it's about 10 of them, bro. There's another one right there.
Hey, the lion and the lamb needs to have a staff on the lamb's back.
Speaking of the Rose of Sharon.
The Rose of Sharon? Yeah.
There's the cross. Watch this. I'm going to show you this. This is really cool.
Brown, I just saw.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's a nice one. I saw one similar, but it was in the bronze with the gold.
There's a Noah's Ark.
Got the animal's head sticking out of it.
There's a Methuselah.
Yo, is that your beanie?
Yeah, I'm going over there right now. No, you don't know what that is, Bill. Don't worry about it. You Puerto Rican.
I
Look at that.
Bro, what is
There's
that? What is that
Bible.
right there? Is that Harry Potter's wand? What's that?
No, man, that's the reed. That's the reed crystal.
Expecto Patronum. I didn't know what that was. Hey, what is that, bro? What's that about, bro?
This?
Yeah, the little hand. What is that?
So in Jewish tradition, like you're not allowed to touch the scroll. So only you. This is how you read the scrolls. You got to read it with this.
Oh, with a
So
little
that's a
metal
pointer.
hand.
It's a pointer.
Yeah, you can't touch the scrolls, bro. It's not permitted.
So it's a stylist.
Basically, look at this. Remember I was telling you she has a huge one. Look at how big this thing is.
Yo,
Oh yeah, that's
that
pretty cool.
is nice.
Look, bro. Like
Yeah, that's
That's
cool.
nice.
Ah,
And you got
that is
huge
big.
hands. We know
Yeah,
you got
Oh
huge
yeah, he
hands.
does, bro. That thing's bigger than a football.
Look at this. My son loves trying to get to this.
Oh, that's
Oh, that's
adorable.
cool. Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
So,
Too many
Dre, you're
windows
a
though. They
part
messed up.
Jewish too? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. From my dad's
Oh,
side,
okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
Look at that, Trot. That's pretty cool too.
Oh yeah, that is cool.
And then of course
Yeah,
your guy.
right. Hey,
That's
go
a
back.
nice
Hey,
photo.
hold up. Go back
your
to the
guy.
picture. Go back to the picture.
Yeah, that's the tent. That's the movable one. That was the
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's in the
body.
desert.
that's
the body.
the way, the truth, and the life. You can see all three of them right there. That's cool. Well, you can't see the Holy of Holies, but
Yeah.
The brazen
yeah, that's
altar.
cool.
There goes all the tents, how they set up around the ark or the covenant.
Yeah.
And
that's
there's
cool.
your guy, Trot.
Hey, Trot,
That's funny.
that would be a good study to bring, the breaking down of the tabernacle. The meaning,
we did.
We did it already,
We
Bill.
did that. We did that, Bill.
Look at this, Trot. This
What is
thing
that?
actually spins.
Oh, it does. Those are the little monitos.
Did your mom not put away her Christmas ornaments?
Probably not. This is cool too. This is how they used to do communion. Like this is Jewish. So they pour the wine in here, and it comes down, and it actually comes down these rivets right here, and it fills each cup evenly to do communion. Passover.
Nice. That is nice.
Yeah.
I need to get some of those made out of solid gold.
So, Dre, I have a question, Lord. I feel funny in this live saying that.
Nah, you're good, man.
Okay. So growing up Jewish and Catholic, how did that balance out for you? Because I would have a lot of questions for both. You know what I mean? As a child, because there's Christmas and then there's not, for in the worldly sense. But how did that? How did you balance that? How did your parents balance it? That's my question.
The reality is most people. Give me a second. I think the reality, especially when it comes down to Judaism, especially unless you're like a real Orthodox, like people still like do everything. Like that's why they get criticized a lot. And Jews are very, in my opinion, Jews are very pagan, anyways, and we can see it throughout the Old Testament. They're quick to do anything. So it wasn't really hey, how you doing, Will? It wasn't really a thing, like my dad is Messianic. You got to remember, like, even though we are Jewish as far as bloodline, when it comes down to like Christianity, I was raised in Christianity. My mom she became a quote unquote Pentecostal born again Christian when she was 13, and after she did her first communion as a Catholic. And then my dad, he actually accepted Christ at when I was like 1 or 2 years old. So I don't know no difference. All I know is Christianity. I was just like, never forget your culture type deal. It's more along the lines of the Judaism that we lived by. It wasn't necessarily like doing. I mean, we do like Hanukkah, but we weren't like doing Yom Kippur and all that stuff. Like it wasn't that serious. We were Christian.
Y'all were just spinning those dreidels.
Yeah, bro, that's my favorite. That's my favorite, bro. The dreidels is my favorite, bro. And
Dreidel.
Oh yeah, my son Levi loves the dreidel, bro. Matter of fact, he got in trouble this past Hanukkah because he was losing, so he decided to go in his belly and act a daggone fool. So he had to get corrected.
He doesn't
Uh-oh.
like to lose, bro. As a matter of fact, the other day we was at his T-ball game. The last time we went, and I had to really get on him, bro, because I guess one of the kids, like the ball was hit to him and went through his legs, and he lost his grapes, bro. And he threw his glove on the ground and started jumping on it. And I was like, bro, what are you doing? And he's like, we're always losing. We always lose. And I'm like, what are you
We're
talking
always
about? Ain't
losing.
no winning and losing around here. He's like, you guys, everybody gets a trophy. But he does not like to lose, bro. I tell you what, boy, he does not like
Oh,
to
that's
lose,
funny.
bro. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
gotta stay on him because he'll get in his belly real quick.
We're always
That's a good thing
losing.
in a sense because he's got passion and desire.
Oh, he's very competitive, bro. Very competitive. Like I don't let him win. Like I did the same thing with my oldest son. That's one thing. I'm not gonna let you win, bro. I'm not that type of dad. It's like, oh well, just let him win one. Nah, heck no. I'm blocking every shot. I'm throwing every.
Yeah.
I'm gonna destroy you every time I get a chance. And then one day you'll grow up, and when you can beat me, you'll feel good about yourself. But if I let you win, what's the accomplishment in that?
Yeah. No. No. We
Yo, it's
we
funny.
let
Do
him
you
win. We
trash
let him
talk
win.
to him?
You
Do you
let him win
trash talk
before
to
they
him,
walk.
Trey, when you block his shot? Do you do the Kimbo? Where he says, no, no, no.
Yeah, like my son now, like my older son, like he destroys me in basketball. Like I used to just annihilate him regularly. That was like my daily thing with him. Was like, let's go play hoops. Like he want to go hoop, and I just destroy him. Now he shows me no mercy, so I just be like, you know what? I ain't hooping, bro. I don't feel like it.
I don't want to play. I don't want to play. How about that? I
No,
don't want to play.
I'm like, where's Levi at? Where's Levi at?
Yeah, it's Levi's turn.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
And then you tell your older boy that when Levi gets up, he's gonna destroy him.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Hey, that's what you and Levi ought to do. Start double teaming the older one.
Yeah, when Levi gets a little older, yeah, we gonna double team him for sure, and we can win
Yeah.
easy then. That'll be easy.
Yeah. Zay, man, what's going on, bro? Brought you up and just kind of left you in the shadows. What's up, dude? Oh, maybe he's at work or something. Taylor, what's up, dude? You got something to say, man? No? All right.
Nah, I'm good. Sorry.
Well, all right then. Man, it's already 10:10. We're going to bounce. I need to upload. I'm going to try to upload the rest of them today. Hopefully, we'll see the 10 Commandments. Oh, man.
Right at the front door, bro. Right before you leave, you better remember.
You better read them. Read it.
Read it. Read it.
Put real big on top of it, bro. Read it. Hey, they got to read them. Hey, they got to read them coming in and read them going out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all right. Okay, so we got Hebrews 13:3, which I think Misunderstood brought that one. We got Naaman, which we should be doing tomorrow. And then Benny's not here anymore, but Benny brought Hebrews 3:12, I think, talking about belief. But with that being said, it was another amazing morning, and we will see y'all tomorrow morning, man. Anybody got anything to say before we go? Anybody? Nope.
Yeah. Dre, thank you for sending me down that rabbit hole yesterday or the day before with that verse.
What?
The verse in Malachi. Thanks for sending me down the rabbit hole.
Oh. Yeah, buddy. All
No,
right.
but actually,
God bless you.
this is a good one. Okay.
Okay. All right. All right. See y'all. See y'all in the morning.
Everybody.